so abnormal. I feel like I needed him on my side and I needed him to have my back, and he did not. Not at all. Okay. You know, which is also where like the betrayal's coming in. Because for the one person out of everyone here who should have had my back, it should have been my husband.
Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little bit tired of Morgan. But anyway, listen, look, free Maya. Free Maya. My people struggle for a lack of knowledge, and they perish because of the lack of knowledge. And listen, Maya, we need to free you, baby. Free Maya. Free Maya. Gone too soon. Anyway, listen, look, talking to you guys obviously about Married at First Sight, dealing with the latest episode, episode 11. We're talking about, the couples in this particular aspect. And let me tell you something, it's crazy. I'll be into this. It's been crazy. Oh, Maya. Maya, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. No, stop. But listen, on a realist thing. Listen, this episode was emotional. I think we got to see a lot more of people's emotional sides, more understanding sides. I think we got to see more of people's, thought processes, a lot more people's, connections. We saw how, Mitch came shining through. I mean, him just opening up and just being more open about his past, it helped breed more understanding. We saw also with, what do we call it now? And why did the name go out my head? We also saw with, Justin and Alexis. I mean, apart from the Free Maya situation, it does seem like they're a little bit, it does seem like they are growing in some aspects. I'm still not completely sold, but it's starting to work a little bit. We saw obviously as well Nate and Stasia going strong. Love the aspect about the dad also as well coming over. That was powerful as well. And also Bin and what's my name? It Miguel and what's her name? Why everyone's name's gone up my head? Miguel and what's her name? Lindy. That's it, brother. Miguel and Lindy. They seem to be going quite strong as well. I mean, there's still a few more weeks before madness to happen, but it does seem to be going in the right direction for a lot of couples. Let's have a look at Maya one more.
So his dog Maya, when we moved in the apartment, had Pac Newton, and those are both our babies. And we're like, how can we work through this? And we came to the compromise that Maya would.
Do you know what it's like? It's like sending, when a black person makes a mistake and then goes into prison, and that just condemns them for life. That's how I feel about Maya right now. I know she understands our struggles. You know what I'm saying? I know you understand I know she understands our struggles. You know what I mean? Like, you make one mistake, and then they send you into prison, and because you're not doing good boy act, they're not going to let you be free. That's how I feel like with Maya. You know what I'm saying? I feel like one mistake has sent her into the penitentiary. And now, with all the psychologists and everything like that, she ain't coming out. Yeah? Maya ain't coming out. Maya's doing a bid upstate. You know what I'm saying? All right? And it's sad to see a resident Maya, just taking in like that, and you just know Maya ain't going to be the same. You just know that when Maya comes out, you know what I'm saying? She gonna be walking with a limp. You know what I mean? It's like when even the bark is gonna be different when she comes out, man. She's gonna be different. You know what I'm saying? Beforehand, the bark was row, row, row. The bark is now row, 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 row. You know what I'm saying? The bark is aggressive now because you've been locked up unfairly. You made one mistake. You know what I mean? And they're trying to lock you up for life. You know what I'm saying? One mistake. We've all been there. It could have been any of us. Do you know what I'm saying? It could have been any of us at that point. You get into a fight, you punch somebody, their head hits a curtain. I mean, that's not a joke I should make, but I'm just saying, anything can happen. You make one mistake and you're in prison. You know what I mean? So now Maya is in the upstate. And there's people working against her. People are literally sitting outside working against Maya. You know what I mean? Certain powers that be called human beings are working against her. You know what I'm saying? Like Maya gonna come out with a chip on her shoulder. You understand? Yeah. When she sees Alexis next, that walk that certain dogs have a little prounce. Maya's gonna be like that walk. So it's gonna be when she sees Alexis. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Alexis, oh my god. Free Maya, people, free Maya. Poor girl's going through it. You know what I'm saying? Poor Maya's going through it. You know what I'm saying? She gonna have to survive in there, Maya. Survive out there, Maya. Okay? Alright? Yo, listen. Poor Maya, man. Anyway, listen. It's Super Panel today. We're talking to you guys, obviously, about Married at First Sight. All jokes aside, we want Maya to be free. We don't want Maya to be locked up. You know what I'm saying? We need Maya to be free. Okay, free my Maya out here. Hashtag free Maya. All right, but there was a lot that was going on. Let me be honest with you. There's a lot going on right now. I think with Ben and Morgan, I think that's one of the biggest things. Ben and Maya, Ben and Morgan's a big issue as well, because listen, I don't know what it is with Morgan. To be honest, I said at the beginning of the relationship, people like Morgan, they're unforgiving. You make one mistake, you're out there. But you know what's really frustrating with the Ben and Morgan situation is that she was talking to the girls about the situation and going, I bet he's there with the boys talking to the girl. I bet he's with the boys talking. No, baby, but you're doing the same thing. You're doing the very same thing you're crying about. Okay? You're doing the very same thing. You're about to tell the rest of the people, and you're about to tell, you literally told all the girls what was going on, and you are not trying to defend him. You're not trying to cover him either, because you need someone to talk to. That's the reality. You know what I mean? So I wish the ladies would have called her out a little bit more. Y'all saw Morgan on the dinner table, and you saw how she moved. None of you called her out. None of you thought to yourself that, especially the way that, none of you thought that, that after Alexis snitched to Morgan, it would have been like, hey, you know what? It shouldn't have left the compounds of, the conversation between himself and Justin. Nobody thought that would be a little bit of conversation that should be had, right? None of the ladies thought that, yeah. And then we go in and, well, to be honest, the ladies were quiet, to be honest. I mean, Morgan had to back herself amongst the guys. So, I appreciate the fact that Nate called her out. He needed to call her out, He needed to call her out. So, yeah, for me, this was an episode that was really great because I think, what we got to see was when people gain an understanding of people, they gain empathy. When I can understand where you're coming from, we gain empathy as well. But yeah, with Morgan's situation, nah, man, they did our boy dirty. Let's have a little look at the Morgan situation just one more time. They did our boy dirty a little bit. Here.
Since this is so abnormal, I feel like I needed him on my side, and I needed him to have my back, and he did not at all. Okay. Which is also where the betrayal's coming in, because for the one person out of everyone here who should have had my back, it should have been my husband.
Now, here's the thing. Remember I told you guys, 2022, we're not jumping no walls. What did I tell you? What have I been telling you? Man, what have I told you? In 2022, we're not jumping any more walls. Yeah? We're not jumping over guards. We're not jumping over soldiers. Right? We're not jumping over castle walls. We're not jumping over fences. Okay? We are not doing it, guys. Okay? We are not doing it. We are not doing it. Because this is the result. I told you this, guys, with, what's her name? What's her name from a few seasons ago with Gil. I know obviously she was right, but with Gil and whatever season. We're not doing the jumping over fences, guys. Okay? We're not doing it. Ladies too, you don't need to do it. You don't need to be... Listen, we're not trying to figure people out behind the shield and the castle walls. If you ain't ready to be vulnerable, you need to sit on the bench and heal. If you're here wanting me to be a counselor and a therapist for you in a relationship, you need to go and heal. It's that simple, okay? All right? It is that simple. We need you to go and work on you. Work on you because you're not ready. And now we're in a situation where Morgan is literally punishing Bin. And we knew that from the last episode after what she said. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? But what I'm really devastated about, again, and I think you guys are also saying as well, what the heck was Dr. Pepper doing, blood? Dr. Pepper lost all her pepper, blood. Where is the Dr. Pepper of old? Bring back Dr. Pepper of old. Where is Dr. Pepper that had the spice for people? Where's the Dr. Pepper that was calling people out? Where was Dr. Pepper that handled Chris Williams with finesse? Where is that Dr. Pepper? Free that Dr. Pepper, because right now Dr. Pepper is not peppering, blood. Yeah? She's not peppering anymore, fam. From the time of Chris Williams, you were giving Chris Williams absolute gumption. Gave Chris Williams bars. Let Chris Williams know that you're not someone to be played with. You're Dr. Pepper. And you made sure you put the DR in front of the pepper to let him know. But this season, this particular season, oh sis, what's really going on? Dr. Pepper, you are suffering. You are suffering. You have, baby. And baby girl, you know I got the feeling. Visions blurring, Rika, see is you. You know. Like, honestly, it was like, bruv, I need more. Yeah, I think so, man. I think they did. I think they got to her. I think they got to her. Yeah, I think they got to her. Someone said diet Dr. Pepper, bruv. Diet Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? I wanted her to come. I didn't want her to be on Bin's side. I wanted her to put some pepper up both of their step and get to the grips of what was happening between Bin and Morgan. I wanted to know more. I wanted you to give solutions to make them help them. I wanted you to be able to say some things that are going to help navigate this situation. Instead, I got low fat, low sugar, low carbs Dr. Pepper. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get it. We didn't get it. You know? It's sad to see, man. It's sad to see one of your favorites like that. Dr. Pepper was the one that used to keep it real, man. Honestly. Dr. Pepper used to be the one that would keep it so real. You'd be like, Dr. Pepper will come in there, say what she needs to say. Ah, man. Dr. Pepper. You hate to see it, guys. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, guys, as well. All right? You hate to see it. And they got to her eventually, I guess. You know, and do you know what? I can't even be mad because, you know what? Dr. Pepper's been a real one for a few seasons, holding it down for a few seasons. You know what? Let me cut her oblige because she's been holding it down for a few seasons, calling out people, you know, as well. Let me be honest with you. She's been calling out some people in the past few years. She's called people out. I remember she called out Haley. Remember when she called out Haley? Yeah, she's called out people. So I don't want to be too heavy on her, but I wanted to see her do more. You know, I wanted her to just collect, you know, Morgan and let her know there's a better way to do this thing. But no. Man. When Dr. Pepper will come through, Dr. Pepper will come with all different spices and flavors. Coming out like a chicken burger from KFC. You know what I mean? 24, 25 different spices. It blended and fused into this burger. You know what I'm saying? She used to come with the correct sauce. You know what I mean? Have you, you know what I'm saying? Have you, you know what I'm saying? But now, baby, we just put and there's nothing to it. You know? You know? Oh, man. It's tough, man. It's tough. You know, you can't always get it right, man. Do you know what I mean? I have to give Dr. Pepper oblige. I have to give her some grace, man. You know, Dr. Pepper, no, because Dr. Pepper, guys, look, before the super panelists come on and stuff like that, Dr. Pepper's been doing work. You guys know, remember the seasons before this? Dr. Pepper, when she gets a hold of you, your eyes will be streaming. Because you know she's coming to collect your soul. Now, you know what? You fight so many wars, you get to a point, you want to do even what Thanos said, you know? Now I look upon the sunrise and look upon, you know what I mean? Like that kind of, that's where Dr. Pepper is right now. She's where Thanos is, you know? Now when I look upon the sun, you know, when he looks upon her, now I look upon the sunrise, and that's where she's at the moment. She's had so much work, she's put so much effort in. We need somebody new. We need some fresh blood that are gonna give it. And this new girl that's coming with a yellow jacket, I don't know her name. She looked like she was coming to give us a bit of gumption. Maybe that's what they want. They want someone like that fresh meat to come in there. But the way she was coming at my boy Bin, I don't know if she was coming at Bin and Morgan. So we'll wait and see. But we're gonna need some fresh blood. Yeah. Dr. Pepper will be remembered for years to come. But right now, she's mashing up the legacy. So I think what we need, Dr. Pepper, is we need her to quit and let her stay a legend. And let us always say this line: if Dr. Pepper was there, this wouldn't be happening. You know, we need her to quit while she's ahead. We need her to be in that space where she is. A legend still, so you can always say, nah man, if Dr. Pepper was there, she would never have that. If that was Dr. Pepper, she would just be telling you something. But if you kill off your legacy, you know, by staying too long, we're gonna be like, yeah, Dr. Pepper wouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? So we want to remember Dr. Pepper fondly. Okay, shout out to Dr. Pepper out there. I pray that she continues to flourish, but maybe it might be time, sis, for a change. Maybe the producers are not allowing you to be the greatest that you want to be. Okay, all right. I want her to go out on top. I want her to be the tip top blended spice out there. You know what I'm saying? I want her to be, you know. So someone said get Anyala, because Anyala will have them digging holes in the backyard. Yo, when Anyala gets going, there is no stopping that freight train. When she did that particular episode, I was screwing with laughter. This lady said, go outside, start digging. Man are digging holes in ground, you know. Digging holes in ground. Oh! Anyala used to do bits. Bruh, there. When she does the you just knew that when Anyala does that, brother, it's long for everybody. Do you get what I mean? All right, before I get a few people to come up onto the stage, my super panelists today, just to get a reminder, guys, as well. Just a reminder as well, guys. All right, just a reminder as well. Don't forget, guys, grab your tickets. A lot of you guys have bought some already, which has been amazing. Thank you so much. But grab your tickets already, baby. Trust and believe, baby. I got you. Okay, so trust and believe. We want you guys to buy your tickets. Get it locked and loaded. We're sorting out, like I said, we're sorting out DC. We're almost there now. So I have some more news for you. Hopefully by the end of this week, actually, it should be done. And we'll have some news for you as well, guys. And then we can start getting the tickets for you as well for DC. But for now, it's Atlanta and New York. Grab your tickets. And hopefully we'll have some surprise guests coming through as well. All right? Listen, let me get the panelists on, you know. It's going to be a healthy threesome today, baby. A healthy threesome today, baby. All right. We telling me, Cap? Yeah.
We went from a threesome to a foursome real quick.
Real quick. Sometimes you gotta do it. What you telling me, bro?
Oh, man. I mean, this episode, it didn't need to be 2 hours, but there was some interesting revelations, I feel. It was a little on the long end for me. I think if they don't have nothing to tell us, then it don't have to be 2 hours.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, but good stuff.
Good stuff indeed.
Alexis and Justin. Man. Poor Maya.
Yeah. Poor Maya. Free Maya. Free Maya. We got some dog lovers on this panel, so free Maya. Free Maya. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, free Maya. Seaway, what's your thoughts? Hey, shout out with the hair. Okay, baby.
This is coming out tomorrow.
It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah,
I like the way you parted it to the side. It's nice when you put it to the side. I like that look. It's cool.
This is the only way it's really working. So, thank you, Bridget.
What's your thoughts on this episode, then, Seaway?
Boring.
What's it?
I was bored, but maybe I'm toxic.
Maybe.
Right, like I was bored, but am I toxic? You know what I mean? Like I was really evaluating, like, why am I bored? It may be me. I may be the problem. Okay. I don't know. It was just too long. I hate when they do that, writing letters to their younger selves, bull crap. I've never been into that. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed repetitive. It seemed like we were watching them write letters to themselves for 2 hours. It wasn't even like they were like, it was just part of it. I did enjoy, you had me dying talk about the peppering.
peppering, man.
But I mean, Dr. Pepper was, I felt like Dr. Pepper was doing the Lord's work. Personally, I felt like she was trying. I really did. I felt like she was, I know, unpopular opinion. That's fine. But I felt like she was doing with what she had. She really, really, really got into Mitch in a way that he could receive it. I appreciated her comments for Mitch. I appreciated her comments for Stasia. She let Stasia know that she wasn't marrying herself. I thought that was productive and helpful. And some other people, she didn't do much. She didn't give Morgan nothing that she needed. So there was definitely people that she didn't do enough. Morgan didn't get no time. She needed more time. Morgan needed 5 minutes. She got about 30 seconds. She needed more time. And Ben, that poor child, he just needs an escape patch. But I think she did what she could. She's getting old, She's tired.
Yeah, I hear you still. That's a fair point.
More importantly, though.
Oh.
What was Justin doing with this attire?
Which attire?
That was the highlight of the episode. This man had a button-down, see-through white blouse with his chest out. Then he had the button-down blouse that was salmon color. That was the most important part of the episode to me. Why was he wearing them blouses? And I'm like, you, Kojo, I tend to leave people's attire alone. I try not to get into the fashions of it all. But he wanted us to get into the fashions wearing those outfits. He wanted us to comment. So I'm giving him what he wants. Because why else would he wear those things? That's all I got. He need to put them blouses alone. Who called me not with the ageism?
You want to call Sandra now you are ageist.
I'm an ageist.
Call him a colorist, texturist, you're an ageist.
I'll be ageist. I've been an ageist before.
Mustandress, because Justin can't wear what he wants to wear. So there you go. This is for you.
Wait, what is that coming at the blouses? What ism is that?
I said misandrous.
Oh, okay. I can't even say that, but yeah, that's me.
I didn't even see it. I need to see it again, so I'll look back and look at it again. JR, what's your thoughts to this episode?
Okay, so I thought the episode was kind of tame because I think Dr. Pepper, in particular, she focused on the wrong couples. You've got Morgan and she's going in on Bin every single chance she gets. So Dr. Pepper really needed to address that one primarily. Alexis and Justin, they need some help from her too, a lot more. But she did talk to Mitch, and Mitch had a breakthrough this episode, which I thought was interesting as well. Like the way he teared up and started crying and opened up. to Kristen. So yeah, I think that overall though, it's like I'm watching the same couples do the same thing every single week. And unless Dr. Pepper gets in there and addresses it, it's going to keep going that way. So yeah, I think my biggest takeaway was the missed opportunity, because Morgan definitely needs to be spoken to about her behavior with Ben, that's for sure. And Alexis with Justin as well, because there's a double standard there. You know, Morgan and Alexis, they speak about the relationship, right? But yet Morgan has such a huge problem with Ben talking about his experiences. He probably isn't even throwing her under the bus, but it's the fact that he's speaking to somebody else outside of her. She doesn't like it. But Ben and Justin are in a similar situation. They're both with partners who like to air them out, or, you know, be confrontational. And Ben and Justin are also not strong characters where they're overbearing or they're standoffish. So yeah, for me, missed opportunity from Dr. Pepper.
Definitely hearing you on that, Kez. Definitely hear you on that, Cuzzy. All right, let's get into our first clips and let's start the show, baby. Let's get into this. I don't know if I have it in chronological order, but hey ho, here we go.
So his dog Maya, when we moved in the apartment, had TAC Newton, and you know, those are both our babies. And we're like, how can we work through this? And we came to the compromise that Maya would go away to this training camp.
First of all, Dr. Pepper is giving that stare. I know she's hearing some bullshit, so that's why she's giving that stare. She's doing that look again when she squints. That tells me she's hearing some bullshit. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on this particular scene and the whole Free Maya situation. I know we're joking around, but obviously Maya is being taken in at the moment, and it's unfortunate she's been taken away, and due to her being inconsistent, and you know, she's not going to be let out on any good behavior at this time round. So wanted to get you guys' thoughts on you know, that situation with Justin, Alexis, and what she said as well in that particular scene. What's everyone's thoughts on this? Doggy lovers, talk to me, man. Sean, go for it.
Listen, you know, I have a special place in my heart for the four-legged fur babies, right? You know, I got my Abby. I couldn't imagine life without her. So I just am really, really disappointed in the way this was all handled. I think, you know, maybe it is a better situation. Listen, I was saying in the chat earlier, maybe Maya has pent up frustration because she lived in a very small place. Justin's apartment is very small. And when you got a little dog like that, it probably needs to be very active, needs to be socialized better. And if it's pent up and cooped up in that little place, it's probably not a good place for Miss Maya. So it sounds like she's in a farm. Listen, Dr. Pepper certified that it seems like it was a good place. I'm hoping it's in a good place. She's in a good place. But it's never a good thing to separate an owner from their dog. So I don't know. I think he buckled too quickly on this, because what happened to the fact that Maya would go to one of his friends? And I'm not sure what kind of place they sent Maya to, because if the person is saying, oh, she's inconsistent, well, you know, do you have enough time to dedicate to her? Because all them dogs I seen there look like there was one in a junkyard, and two, are there enough people handling and training the dogs there? So I wouldn't be so quick to take their word. I ain't seen one episode of Justin tripping back over to see Maya and checking on her. So I'm disappointed in the whole thing. And meanwhile, Alexis has a little low-key grimace on her face. And that, I think, is the biggest issue.
I hear that. Go for it, Siway. Thank you, Sean.
I don't know how he could love his dog like he said he did to send his dog to that Feed the Children version of a dog training camp. That camp was depressing. Again, I personally call me a dog lover. I am, but call me a dog fanatic, whichever. But that to me was the saddest scene on Married at First Sight history, Fight me about it. I don't care. Maya going to that little cage jail. Extremely sad. And I was mad again because I'm just like, so you're going to take this random, probably white person, whatever opinion that your dog is being aggressive, and then you're just going to leave your dog. You don't need to have kids because you're the type of parent that just believe whatever the teachers say without even investigating. Like, of course the dog is going to be acting up a little bit. Like, the dog is probably traumatized. You dropped him off at a pound looking thing and now he's playing in the yard like a field help. Like, that's a character issue for me. Like, if you're saying that this dog literally is your child, and as soon as a woman comes around she can have you get rid of your dog, like, those be the same men that, you know, their wives die and they had to remarry, and then they let the new wife treat their kids bad. Like, that's Justin. Because I don't understand. And she was smiling like that was cute. It was jail. Free Maya.
I hear you. I so hear you on this. JR, talk to me, man. What are you saying?
Okay, all right. So I must confess, I'm not a dog lover. I've had dogs, but I can't stand them now, man. I'll be honest. But I do have compassion for Maya though, because the thing is, Maya's going to find it difficult to integrate back into the house. Like, there's a difference between like being trained at this dog school and then coming back and being around the owner, Justin, again, and then having to interact with Alexis's dog as well, right? So I think that it could be a while before Maya is calm enough to be back in the fold, to be back in the house. Because being away from for so long, it will obviously need a bit of time for her to reintegrate. I agree with Seaway. I think that in a way, Alexis is kind of punishing Justin by sending Maya away. And that's evident by the way she is gleeful, like she's smiling about it, grinning about it. So Justin made a big mistake getting rid of Maya so easily, that's for sure. Because as you know, Kojo, over here, like, people have a relationship with dogs where they're one of the family. All right. So a lot of people have a very close relationships with dogs. In fact, some people prefer dogs to humans. All right. So if Justin and Maya have been together for a few years and they've got that bond, yeah, I think that's a bad move. And could be a while before she's able to come back into the fold and behave correctly, despite the training that she's having.
I'm hearing you on this. Listen, you know what? I mean, obviously, I'm not really a dog lover like that, so I'll be honest with you guys. If you want to get rid of your dogs, I don't care. But I understand that for a lot of people, dogs are like a second. It's like a family, a member of the family. You know what I mean? So giving up your dog is huge, which is why I don't date people who have dogs. You know what I mean? So, because it's like having kids. But anyway, so it's like,
Hey,
so
pause,
I totally understand.
No. You can't
What's
glide
that?
over that. You're gonna get rid of. You're not gonna date a woman because she has a dog.
Absolutely, because she has a kid.
Oh, Joe,
basically.
you ain't even dating nobody. It's still 2022, so
You're
put the
just
cap
looking
away.
for
Put
reasons
the
to
cap.
X people
Put
out.
the cap. You just capping. Go
No,
to the
he's
next
serious.
topic.
He's looking for
Put the
reasons
cap.
to disqualify people.
Cut the cap.
Hey, listen. Wait.
This is far more interesting than this episode.
I'm
not dating.
I'm not dating people
who
who got dogs. I'm so sorry. I'm not dating if you got a dog. I'm so
Now
sorry.
that's on your list of red flags.
It's a red flag.
That's on your list of red flags now. Okay.
It's a crimson flag. It's a crimson flag. Not because they're bad. Not because they're bad, but because, again, people treat their dogs like their children. Do you get what I'm saying? So, in all honesty, I don't want to have to date you when you got a child. That's the whole point. I don't want to have to do that. Do you know what I mean? A dog's a child, by the way. It's a child. You treat it like a child. If I said to you, give up your child now, you'd look like I'm crazy. If I said give up your dog, you'd say you're looking like I'm crazy, which is
why would
which is
you
fair.
need to do that? Why would you need
Huh?
to tell somebody to give away their dog or
Because
their
your dog's
child?
taking up too much space in the house. It's a 1-bedroom flat. Take
What
him
if
out.
it's a small dog like my
I'm
rainbow?
only kidding. I'm winding the people up. I just don't want to see a dog in the house. I don't like it. Don't.
Hygiene.
Don't help
You know
them,
what?
JR.
A lot of dogs are hyperallergenic and they don't stink.
Listen, I'm sure your dogs are brilliantly well trained, and don't bite, don't do those things, and that's great. There's a lot of people's kids who are also well trained. I don't really care. I don't want to do it.
Wait, Bridget
But I
said it's an
respect those.
African thing. Is it an African thing?
I mean, Africans do have dogs, but it's not. Africans don't necessarily treat their dogs like children. They treat them like slaves. So it's slightly different. But nah, it's it's a different thing. But I'm not saying it's wrong to have a dog or anything. I'm saying that if it was a dating thing, I personally wouldn't. But I totally get. So that's why I understand what you're saying about with Justice. Him giving up the dog is a massive, massive thing, because like that's 7 years you've adopted that dog. That's like family. You've rolled with that dog day in, day out. Do you know what I mean? And then suddenly you just give that dog up. You know what I mean? You just give that dog up. Like that's almost unforgivable in some sense. You know what I mean? But to be fair, if the dog has issues in terms of its aggression and it's problematic at being around other dogs, I can also understand why the choice was made to give that dog up. But it's about, where does that dog go? You know what I mean? Let's not send that dog to prison when it just needs a community service. You know what I mean? You literally, you're literally condemning that dog to a lifetime of misery. Like it doesn't need to go that far. So I think maybe it could have been, like you said, I think Sean and Seaway, what happened to the friend that they were meant to give the dog to? I don't know what happened to that part as well. So yeah, I don't know. What you guys saying? You not disagree? Like, what you not saying? I see very people in the chat talking about the dog situation.
Taking on a whole other life. They're like, some people get what you're saying, and they're like, oh, don't try to push him. He can have a preference. I don't like dogs either. Relax, people. Take it easy, okay?
There's a lot of
conversation.
There's a lot of anti-dog lovers.
All right, because Kojo, when we go to DC, guess who's coming along? Abby's gonna be there. Guess
No. Abby gets left behind. Free Abby.
Y'all who saying dogs don't need to be in the house do not need dogs. I cannot stand people when they say dogs don't belong in the house. Dogs do belong in the house, especially if it's cold outside, elements, all type of stuff. I cannot stand people who get dogs to leave them outside. If you're gonna leave your dogs outside, then don't get a dog.
Hold on, why the dog inside anyway?
Because not all dogs can stand the various temperatures.
Yeah, and survive outside.
Yeah,
it can't stand the rain.
I'm done with you. Oh, true story. Just a side note. Look, I convinced my mom to let me have a puppy when I was like 12 or 13. It lasted for literally a week because the dog was sheer madness, ripping and running through the house. And mother was like, nope. And my dad had my grandfather rather had a backyard that was more ideal. He had dogs in the past, so there was a dog yard, an area fenced in. But we told him it was the winter. I was like, Papa, the dog has to be brought inside at night because it's cold, This man unalived my dog unintentionally. Kojo, the laughter. I had to go through years of trauma therapy because of this.
Yeah, because up here
exactly.
you'll get in trouble. You'll get arrested up here if you leave.
Same here.
If the police catch you leaving your dog outside in Chicago, they will lock you up for animal abuse. You cannot be leaving your dog outside like that. Now, I do know some country dogs, especially when I was in Georgia, who could be outside, especially the farm dogs. you know, the bigger dogs who prefer to be outside. You know, it's not one size fit all, but in a lot of places, you cannot leave your dog outside in Philly. That's animal abuse. I'm just saying. I hate
When did
seeing
dogs
it.
start building houses? That's what I want to know. When did dogs start building houses? That's what I want to know.
Building
Well, first of all, it was us that made them domesticated, by the way. You know, you want to go to history, it's the Egyptians that domesticated dogs and many of the animals that we now have today as pets.
And
So
where are the Egyptians now?
in Egypt, I'm done with you.
My friend is Egyptian. She around the corner.
No, I'm being facetious, guys. I'm only playing with you guys. I you know, I get it. And UK is no different to you guys. The British folk, I'm telling you, just as you guys are mad over dogs, British people are mad over their dogs. Do not play with their dogs. Them one there, they will have you. Dogs rank above black people. Just want to be honest with you. Dogs rank above black people. In UK, I don't know how it's in US, but dogs in UK have a higher citizenship than black folk in the UK.
They do
Just
here
gonna be
too.
real with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, white folk got some messed up particular priorities, but hey, I mean, it is what it is.
No, it's 100% true. They sent Michael Vick away. They sent Michael Vick away for dogs, behind dogs.
Even Caesar, y'all remember Caesar did not get in trouble for beating his black child, his black female daughter. But then when he hit his dogs with a chair, he got in a lot of trouble, and they canceled Black Ink because he hit his dogs with a chair, like
that's
one
why
of
he
the
got
folding chairs. And he got yeah, he got in trouble for that. You cannot harm dogs up here.
Yeah, dogs got great citizenship prowesses. So shout out to those dogs out there. All right. All right, let me go to the next clip. It's the same scene, but it just was about what Alexis said to Dr. Pepper.
Let people see you sweat, you know, and I know that's something that sometimes not healthy, and I'm trying to be more vulnerable, but I've never seen my mom cry in my life. So it's just really what I saw growing up, and for me, it's just like I had no choice but to be.
What's your thoughts around this clip? You know, and they were talking about being vulnerable, and Alexis explained the reason why she's not as vulnerable as she would like is because for her, she saw her mother, who was very strong, and her mother didn't cry, and you know, she learned that crying was a weakness. So we want to get you guys' thoughts on the situation, you know, with Justin Alexis when she dropped those bars as well. Who would like to tackle that? You know, JR, you want to hit that?
Okay, so I think it may be a common scenario, right? But if she equates crying to weakness, then that obviously plays into how she views Justin. Like, so we already know that she's not attracted to him, and if she keeps on seeing him crying or you know, being the reason why he's crying, she sees that as weakness. Just like she sees her mum as a strong woman, she'll see a man that probably is more emotional as a weak man, right? So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but in order for her to probably be more vulnerable and overcome that, she's going to have to unlearn behaviors that she's learned growing up, right? Because unfortunately, the guy she's with, Justin, is going to need her to be vulnerable. She's going to need to not necessarily match his tears or anything like that, but the fact that he's very open with her, she's going to need to be open with him as well. And their relationship would get better, but I don't think she's attracted to it enough to him to even want to do that. I still don't get the feeling that she's being genuine. And that's because she cuts him down a lot. And as you alluded to earlier, she goes and talks like she's actually one of the main reasons for the blow up between the two couples, between Bin and Morgan and Justin and Alexis, right? Predominantly between Morgan and Bin. So yeah, like she needs to unlearn those behaviors that she would have learned through her childhood. It's not easy, I don't think for 1 second it would be, but it would benefit the relationship greatly because, like I said, she's dealing with someone who is very much in touch with his emotions.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Sean, what's your thoughts on this? Good bars, well, good points there, Joe, actually, about vulnerability.
Um, I thought it was good insight, and I think that was one of the things that Dr. Pepper helped to explore in her. But I don't think that she wants to change that. I think Alexis views that as strength. I think she views it as a badge of honor to be that guarded. But she is sensitive, and I thought Justin was astute in bringing that out because if you remember a couple of episodes back, she had mentioned to him, I guess whenever he says certain things to her or he lashes out, she was like, "But you hurt me, and that hurts." So there is sensitivity there, and she wears that shell as kind of like a superpower, but it's really not, because there's actually more strength in vulnerability. It takes more to be able to fully express yourself and risk people misunderstanding what you're trying to say. So I think she has work to do, and really at the end of the day, she don't like Justin anyway, so she ain't even willing to do the work. So she was like, it's strength, it's what my mama did, it's what I'm going to continue to do, and that's that on that.
Baby girl. Dun, 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 dun. Absolutely, I hear you on that. Seaway, you got the thinking face. Talk to me.
Because I feel like what she's saying is probably accurate for her life, but she's also acting, and this is also all cap. So it's hard for me to talk about it in a genuine way because I feel like she's blowing smoke up our backsides. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she doesn't want to be vulnerable because she probably didn't grow up seeing her mother vulnerable. I would say a lot of us Black women did not grow up seeing our mothers vulnerable or crying or weak. I would say, if I took a rough guess, 85 to 90% of especially the millennials and plus in this group grew up seeing our mothers like that. So I mean, I don't think that's a very unique experience. And I think most of us also can, if we're being real, we want our men to be vulnerable, but we don't want to see them crying. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, this is the truth. And a lot of us don't cry because we also think it's weakness in ourselves. I mean, that's also true. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I think what she's saying is true, but um I don't think she would be vulnerable with him, period, because she doesn't like him. And he's also pulled multiple levels of fucketry as it relates to lying or omitting or doing all different type of stuff that he has been doing. So he has not created a safe space for her either. So, um, does that make sense?
Yeah. Different perspective, yeah. Yeah, that's no problem at all. I think obviously with Alexa, I think whether she's acting or not, I know it's a bit mad still, but I'd say let me take it on face value, and I think to myself that we knew that we knew that from the very beginning. Again, these couples are now exposing, and I actually think this is a good way to go with Married at First Sight. I think they need more of this. Because this gives us a better insight into individual people and the way they operate. It's something that I wish that Ready to Love would do more. You know what I mean? In terms of exposing some of these, in terms of why people do what they do and why they feel the way they feel. I think it would be more beneficial. We can still have entertainment. We're still having entertainment now. Boy, we laughing at Justin all the time when he's crying. No offense, but every offense meant there. But it's like we are still being entertained. Do you know what I mean? So when Alexis obviously was saying those things, I think it just helps us to understand a bit more in terms of where your guard is coming from, and where your walls are coming from. And at least then we can start, if we're going to, since they're already married, to start to kind of go on a journey and a place to kind of like relieve those walls and those guards up, you know. So for me, I'm enjoying it. I like it. I like to see, you know, that kind of vulnerability and those real thoughts emanating from someone, including Alexis as well. You know, whether she'll do anything with it is another case, but definitely is helpful to see where she's also coming from. Because right now she's strong, okay? All right? She's strong and wrong. She can be at points in time. You know, the stubbornness will be there. But on this occasion, I mean, she wasn't the whole table scene, because they talked about it as well at the beginning of the episode. I was like, ooh, I'm not sure whose side I really fall on, to be honest. I think I can see both of their points. But yeah. But yeah, that would be my thoughts on that. Anyone that got some additions on that particular aspect? Go for it, Seaway. Oh, I thought you were going to need your mic. No. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Let's shift it on then. Baby girl.
For me, because I feel bad that my dad isn't here with us to have experienced this part of my life, my marriage, and would have ultimately really liked Kristen. And, you know, I just hope he's proud of the decisions I've made.
Mitch and Kristen. What is our thoughts of Mitch and Kristen? I feel like Mitch has literally done a 360 on us, guys, you know? From the person who was unavailable, unclean kitchen, was scared to show emotions, was it's my way or the highway. Yes. Okay, so but you know, like literally, he was his way or the highway, and you know, he had his thoughts, you know, and his particular opinions and his ideology, everything like that. And now we're starting to see a softer Mitch who's willing to be more open. I mean, to be honest, he has been showing up for the past few weeks, being a bit more open, being emotionally present in the moment, having conversations that require him to broaden some of his horizons a little bit as well. We've seen some growth there. We've seen some growth there from Mitch, you know. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on Mitch and Kristen. Is it real change, or is Mitch also one of those actors on the show as well, or you know, is it just temporary kind of change for Mitch? What's your guys' thoughts on that then? Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I think he's just an inactive volcano right now.
Oh.
Because I don't think anybody goes from what he was to what he's showing us right now. I think there's some level of enlightenment, but for him to flip out over a t-shirt, for him to flip out over a stylist cutting his beard, for him to flip out over Kristen wanting to flip houses, and then to just be subdued, unless he's got a good pill that is keeping him stable, I don't believe it. I think it's just maybe he's seen some of the errors of his ways, and I think it just happens to also be that Kristen, she gets the Mother Teresa Award for Mafs wives, because that woman has some patience. I got to give it up to her. She got some patience. She gives him grace. She is a gentle, taking her time kind of woman, and I think he is blessed to have her, and maybe he's starting to see that, but I don't think he's going to be something different. I say, let's give it an episode or two, and then I could really see.
Appreciate it. Go for it, Siwe.
Gotta agree with Sean. I think he is just inactive at this moment. I do believe that he's trying. I do believe he sees the error in his ways. I was even looking at his face when Dr. Pepper was talking to him about some of his issues, some of his rigidness, his and the reason why he's so rigid. And I saw him really thinking that over, and I believe he knows that he has some issues, and the way that he deals with people is not the best. I say I agree with Sean about him being inactive right now, because I'm not convinced that he has the tools yet to undo some of the behaviors that he himself recognized may be a bit problematic. Because you're at 41, who knows how long he's been kind of set in these very, very rigid views, and it's going to take more than one episode with Dr. Pepper to undo that. So if I was to bet money, he'll be back with the bull crap. But I want to be clear that I don't think he's faking right now. I think that he's thinking, contemplating, hoping for the best, but I just don't believe that it's going to be permanent, because his ways are very staunch. They're they're kind of embedded in his being. Kristen, man, I would say one of the best wives we personally seen on this show. And I also like how she stood up for herself in that session. I like how she identified that she was doing a lot of people pleasing and that she lost herself. And I like how she identified that she lost herself before it was too late and she's ready to change directions. I think a person like Kristen, if she doesn't find a good husband here, God willing, she'll find a good husband somewhere else because she's a really good person. And I love the grace, again, like y'all said, that she shows for others and her understanding of nuance, and she's very understanding. And yeah, it's the emotional intelligence for me. She's highly emotionally intelligent. So wishing them the best, but I don't think it's gonna last.
Cool. Before you go, Joe, I'll just show a little clip. Another one. Oh, that same clip?
It's awful hours to stay at the job, and I chose the job.
You chose to be a badass woman of real estate?
Honestly, I regret it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because looking back, I do wish I had a little bit more time to be a kid. I felt like a lot.
We'll discuss that in a second. JR, talk to me. What's your thoughts to Mitch? Changed man or nah?
I think it was a breakthrough because it's the first time we've seen him tear up like that, and that means his walls are coming down slightly, right? So I agree with Seaway. It's not going to be an overnight or instant process at all because these are attitudes and behaviors that he's developed up until this point in his life, right? But I think Kristen, and again, for like the second week in a row, I have to really big her up because she seems to be handling the situation quite well, right? She seems to be well balanced, and she's quite like, she's firm, but she's fair, right? And that's a credit to Mitch having someone like that because he's quite problematic. We know he's a bit of an oddball with the things he champions, right? And she's managed to get this far without being malicious or, you know, being as harsh as maybe some of the other wives would in her situation. So she's been quite tolerant. And, but yeah, I wouldn't say Mitch is a changed man just yet. He will need more time to open up. He will need more counseling. He'll need more support from Kristen to overcome what he's going through. Because underneath all that craziness or the oddball, the weird stuff, maybe a solid dude, right? But that stuff needs to go first before Kristen can see that guy. And yeah, so I commend her for hanging in there. And yeah, I really think that it could be a breakthrough, but it's not the end result by any means.
Yeah, you know what? I liked Mitch and Kristen. She's a people pleaser. He is somebody who's very rigid, hasn't had boundaries, has rebelled against authority since his father's passing. That's what he let us know. Since his father's passing, he has not obeyed authority since then. All rules can go to hell. And so, therefore, you can understand why he's even rigid. You see, it's kind of funny. Being rebellious to a point also makes you rigid. So even though you're rebellious and you don't want no rules against you, you're still confined to as many rules as you're going to make for yourself. So there is no getting away from that aspect of him. And so we see that for him, you know, his upbringing was all about, okay, you know, he didn't have many people telling him what to do. He didn't like being told what to do. He would do whatever he wants to do. And that's a freedom, right? But that much freedom from a young age also means that when people are trying to correct you, you can't be corrected. So you go how you want to go. Then you get someone like Kristen, who has literally been told from the very jump of her young age what to do, how to do it, and how great to do it. Do you know what I mean? She spoke about her softball, and playing softball, and the fact that, you know, her mum was even saying to, like, was on her case. If you struck out, she would be on her case. That's where the people pleasing came from. But also as well, I guess that also makes her feel like, as well, at the same time, that you know, she always wants to be in a place where she feels like she is appeasing someone, or at least she's being validated by her doing something to bring about a reaction. So that's probably why she's actually been so patient with Mitch, is because part of the patience also is the validation you get at the very end, which is you're very patient. I'm not saying it's a bad thing per se. I'm just saying that she will have extra motivation, unlike other people who might have blown up already and be like, blood, you're moving mad. Where she'll be like, I'm trying to understand you. One, because she probably felt like she never was understood when she was a kid. And two, also as well, because that people-pleasing spirit leaves you in a place where you put your feelings, thoughts, and ambitions, goals, and what you want, you put it aside in order to appease someone else. So that's probably why, like, she's doing almost like a reverse now, saying, I'm not going to put my things aside. I'm actually going to say how I feel about situations, which is why it probably came out on the table a few weeks ago and came out in a blurt, and why she's saying to Dr. Pepper now as well that, you know what, I want to change the way I'm kind of doing things. I don't want to be in a place where I'm just kind of doing things just to please, you know. So these two could work if they can work beyond their traumas, both of them. This actually could work. This was not looking like it was going to make anything in the last few weeks, but suddenly they've come strong in the last few weeks as well. So, and I always say this as well, you know, understanding begets empathy. Okay, understanding begets empathy. That's what this whole episode is about. This episode shows us that when people begin to understand why you do what you do, they have empathy for you. Shout out to those already to love as well. Because listen, if people understand what you do, maybe we'll have empathy for you. You know. But anyway, listen, back to Married at First Sight. You know, this is a lesson for anybody in relationships. As Sean was saying, you know, vulnerability is the most difficult thing to do, but it's also the most rewarding in terms of for self, but also for the relationship you're in as well. Because the moment you become vulnerable and tell the person, hey, this is how I feel, and this is why I feel this way, people can actually start to have some understanding. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll miss my last point before I let you guys jump in again. It's almost like having that kid. It's almost like if you've ever led anything or been at, Sean knows, Sean's a manager here, so he'll be able to tell you. When you got an employee that's just moving mad, your first thought is like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what is wrong with you? And you're mashing up business right now. Do you know what I mean? Da-da-da. But if that employee comes and says to you, listen, I'm having a hard time. You know, we're having a hard time. And, you know, there's been some issues that I've been going through at the moment at home. And that's what's made me kind of like a bit erratic in the way I behave. You start to have empathy for them. And actually, when people are saying something to them, you can even defend them like, hey, look, they're going through something right now. So just kind of give them. You can't do that when I don't know why you're doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So now my tolerance level is less for you. So it's important that when you're in a relationship with somebody, let them know what you've been through and why you've gone through it. Some of you think by not saying anything, you're protecting yourself. No, you're robbing yourself. And actually, you're robbing the other person of being able to have much more grace and much more empathy for you. That's what the Bible says. And I'll finish on this. That's why Jesus said, we have a high priest that knows exactly what you've gone through. He knows all the temptations you've gone through. Therefore, his level of patience for us is completely different to what we have for ourselves as human beings. Listen, you don't read that, you know. Hebrews, we're telling you them book, you know. Hebrews them. Get me? Hebrews 3 and 4, chapters 3 and 4. Go and read that. We have a high priest who understands.
This is bucket hat Kojo. This is
Kojo, just stay steady now. Don't give us no Justin dropping Jeremiah 29 and this starting madness. So stay consistent. You want to talk about Hebrews? Let's stay on our track.
Justice had me weak dropping that random Bible scripture with no facts,
Exactly.
no supporting
nothing to do with nothing.
Some people are very spiritual. Some people are. But go for it. Yeah. Anyone want to add on?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that was a great point that you brought up about vulnerability, because I remember somebody that was on my team in the past, and I just never understood why in meetings, they would always have something negative to say, or it just seemed like, when you just have that unspoken tension. And then it like sparked up this whole thing. They like tried to report me for something that didn't go anywhere. But anyway, when we finally like had a discussion, like just face to face, she was like, I just feel like you don't like me. And I was just like, listen, that could be the furthest thing from the truth. But I think like once she was just honest and said how she felt, then I knew that, so that I just was able to alter the way that I communicated with her, knowing that that was always in the back of her thought. Like sometimes if somebody feels some kind of way, you can't convince them out of their thought. But what you can do is be knowledgeable of it and understand that, so that it just didn't become so frustrating for me. So I think that it's hard to say that, right? It's probably not easy to tell your manager, I think you don't like me. But like once she was able to give me some information, it was enough for me to be able to move and make the best decision. And I think that's the same thing for relationships, right? And Alexis needs to be honest with Justin and be like, bro, I don't like you. I don't want to be with you. So no matter what you do, I'm going to be annoyed, because you know what the other problem with me was? It's like she does not deal in accountability, but she wants him to always be accountable. And I'm not saying he's right. I disagree with the way he communicates and how he handles. It's too inconsistent. He's not firm. He's very emotional. But the one thing that sometimes that she does, and I feel like she just does it to knock his feet from underneath him, is she'll just be like, well, okay, but this is why I did it. Or, trying to justify that at the table in the last episode that she really wasn't trying to come for him. And that's what he sensed, because she didn't have anything to say, right? And then her body language said it all, but she's trying to deny it when he's like, so what do you have to say? And she was like, nothing, I just don't want to talk about it. But your words, and not your words, but your body language and your facial expressions said exactly what you were thinking, because you were thinking like, yeah, don't be talking about Mitch because you're not doing what you need to do. And I don't like that she does that.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I definitely hear you on that as well. Definitely hear you on that. And just as well, like, I know we're kind of going backwards a little bit, because we'll go back onto Alexis and Justin as well. She struggles to be accountable. Do you know what's so scary? Do you know what is interesting? Toxic masculinity is unaccountable as well, right? That is where our sister Alexis is at the moment, right? When you have an inability, and toxic, do you know what for me toxic masculinity is? Toxic masculinity is an absence of femininity in there. You need to have a counterbalance, right? It doesn't mean you have to have the same amount, but you need a counterbalance, because the feminine energy deals with creativity, it deals with emotion, it deals with receptiveness, you know what I mean? And you need a counterbalance of that. Right, there is times where you need to be receptive. Even as a manager, you need to be time where you're receptive to your employees, or people who are working underneath you, their ideas. You need to also be able to live in your creativity in order to exercise the ingenuity that you have and the ideas you have. You need to be, also need to be in a space where, you can follow leadership too, that submission energy also too, because you have a boss above you. So it's like, these all are important aspects when it comes to being quote unquote a man first and foremost. But for Alexis, when you take on the toxic masculinity traits, where you remove the femininity, where you become hardened in the areas of emotion and expressing your emotions, and you go to that extent, accountability also goes out the window too, because where accountability oftentimes comes in is the understanding of the effect of your actions on other people and the environment around you, which is what we link back to self-awareness, understanding how my behavior impacts not only people around me, not only myself, but also the environment, and how my behavior and why I got there. So without that aspect with Alexis, without her being able to see herself and her own behaviors, it becomes, again, very difficult to be accountable. Similar stuff we see on the same thing on Ready to Love. Every season, people are unaccountable because they're struggling to have any insight into their own behavior and how it actually impacts other people. It's all about them. and how I've been hard done by, and that's where Alexis is. Every time it's about how have I been hard done by, and the same thing happens with Morgan. Everything is about how hard I've been done by, without any realization in terms of, have I contributed towards the environment that I'm in right now? Have I contributed towards some of the actions right now? Morgan got to a point where she even was actually saying, she actually turned her lie that Bin actually had said, and basically said that Bin lied about the lie. Baby, you lied. You know what I mean? You lied and said it off camera so that it wouldn't be said on camera, because you lied on paperwork. Now, regardless whether you're a nurse or not, you decided to put on the paperwork that you were XYZ and you weren't XYZ. Simple as. So yeah, so that situation, that's what I'm saying. So both men and women, when people carry when they have absence of one of the other energy, the counter energy, the yin without the yang, you get this effect where people become too extreme on one side, So yeah. Any other additions to the Kristen and Mitch and other thoughts on that? No? Okay, cool. Shifted on, baby. Do you know what's something funny? I think I have one clip and one clip only for Miguel and Lindy. I didn't see much of them this episode, so
Told each other you love each other?
No, not yet.
Well, I'll tell you what I think about love.
Yeah.
I think you'll be sure at some point.
So I just choked on the water. What's your thoughts of Ben and Lindy at the moment? What's your thoughts of them? Sean, why are you pulling for the gear?
Oh, you Miguel and Lindy?
Oh, sorry, did I say Ben?
Yes, I'm like, huh? You made
That's why he's looking at me strange. You would have looked at me like you're about to pull up in the gear. You said.
That's what I was like. Like, back it up, bro.
Back it up. Like, what? He looked at me like you pull out a gear, like, bro. Yeah. Go for it. If anyone wants to add to it.
Listen. My thoughts on those two. There wasn't a lot. Like, just like you said, there really wasn't much to discuss. They haven't said "I love you." That's a shocker. And they seem to be smooth sailing, but I don't think it's gonna last long. And the other part of it is that I feel like Lindy is very unstable. I just feel like she is completely unhinged. And if I didn't think it before, when she told us in that last episode, when she said that, you haven't seen nothing yet, when somebody tells you, I believe them, And so I just can't take anything she says for face value. But I do think it's good that they haven't said I love you. The look on her face, though, when Dr. Pepper asked the question, it was like she was wanting him to say it. I think she wants him because she's always pushing for more, whether it's more insurance, more accounts. She wants more. So it looked like she wanted a little bit of more of him to be on that page at this point. So that was my thought.
Yeah. Go for it.
What Sean said. What Sean said.
What did Sean say?
What he just said. I mean, Lindy's crazy as hell. That's all I know.
That's not what Sean said. He indirectly said that, though.
That's what he
said. You better stand on your own two toes, Seaway, and call her crazy. What you were saying, you know what I mean? Don't be dragging Sean into this now.
I've been saying that. This episode didn't really tell us nothing. They acting like it's all good, but
okay, fair enough.
What I said.
Appreciate you. JR, talk to me. What you saying?
Okay, so yeah, like you said, there wasn't much on them this week. I think the awkward silence said it all. And when you look at her face, it was like she was frazzled. Like I don't even think she was waiting for Miguel to say it first. She genuinely looked like she was shook to say anything, right? But again, like Seaway said, their relationship is quite turbulent because Lindy seems to be quite fragile. And I'm not saying she has teared up a little bit. But yeah, she just wants things all the time, right? And it seems like Miguel is trying to keep it constant, like keep a balance. And he doesn't go in on her. He actually explains himself well, explains the position well, explains where they're at in his opinion. Doesn't get belligerent or aggressive particularly, but she just keeps prodding. And I think just that's because she's unsettled. Like something about her is just like always trying to do stuff, always trying to get something, like Sean said, right? So yeah, but again, relationships have seasons, right? They're going peaks and troughs. This could be a good week for them, which is why there's nothing much to show.
I'm hearing you guys. All right, cool. So I guess we're gonna leave them alone then, because there's not much to say about them this week. Yeah.
The only thing, and I guess maybe we'll get into that. Is that something you were going to talk about later when the girls go over and invade the guys? So we could talk about her little commentary because I also thought her little piece was telling as well.
Oh, we're gonna talk about them. Don't worry about that, Sean. Oh, you ain't lie. But I definitely hear you guys. Lindy, for me, is, I don't want to say unhinged, because I think that'd be a bit rude, but I do think there's an edge to Lindy. She's given me the disorganized attachment style. Yep, she's given me disorganized attachment style. That's what she's giving me right now. And when you see that in its real life, it is not pretty. I'm telling you this now. You are constantly in a place of verbal affirmations. You're constantly in a place of having to provide a safe environment for that individual person, trying to understand every single time they go off on an explosion or they get into a frenzy. Like, it gets tiring, it gets tiring dealing with somebody who's got a disorganized attachment style. That's what I feel like she has. She may not have it, but that's what it feels like. It just seems that way. And you're going to have to be careful because that girl said, I am free. I'm free indeed. So yes, I'm free indeed. And Miguel can't hold her for nothing. No chains are holding her in this one. So I would be very careful, Miguel. Right now, someone said it. He's smiling right now because he's getting the poussoir. I said the poussoir, sorry. And but listen, let me tell you this now. Listen, after 2 years, the poussoir is gonna be a normal poussoir, like anybody else's poussoir. It's gonna rub off. Okay, that magical stuff that you're feeling right now, in 2 or 3 years' time, it's gonna rub off, sir. Okay, and that can't save you.
That crazy coochie, that gets us every time.
It does for the first 2-3 years.
Woo! Well, yeah, I don't know if 2-3 years, but the crazy coochie can take you down a path.
Ooh, Chile.
It's just
one day we need to go live on this crazy coochie because it's real. It would tying us up, man. It would tying us up.
You want to talk about bad decisions? Some bad decisions.
Bad decisions with all the best and the worst intentions included.
It feels right. Everything feels right, but it ain't right.
I know I'm doing wrong, but you know what? This feels so right.
Exactly. Are y'all done?
Don't be mad. Y'all can talk about the struggle stroke and the broke
it's just saying.
Whatever that, and we let y'all have it. But listen, the crazy
do what you gotta do.
Woo!
Crazy Gucci.
Listen, high vibe. Try Jesus. Don't try me.
Yeah. It takes you high. I've been saying, oh Lord. Toes be doing this. I'm sorry.
Y'all need to have some class like JR, okay?
Yo, hey, when your toes do this, have some crazy cooch. Your toes are lit.
That's you inside. Both y'all like toxic.
Listen, a little bit of toxicity goes a long way. Listen, I
Ain't
mean,
no
I'm not trying to marry the toxicity, but you know what? Diggle daggle, you know what I'm saying? Diggle daggle, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of toxicity, you know, it just adds a little spice to the interaction, you know? Yeah, a little, you got a little streak in you. You know, now I'm looking at you a bit mad, but I'm like,
need to find you a nice girl, a nice, wholesome, praying girl.
but don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna
go
marry
Bible
toxicity
scripture with you guys.
I'm not gonna marry toxicity. Okay, no Delilahs around here. Okay, guys, no Delilahs. All right, maybe a little bit. All right. Any other additions, guys?
They coming for me. Why? Hey. I can't even be vulnerable. I can't be vulnerable, guys.
Who's coming for you?
That's my score. I'm a Scorpio, so there's that.
Right, there is that.
Oh man, listen, it's real though, bro. You know, it's real. You're absolutely right, bro. And we you know, we will have that life, don't worry. So the ladies can also, you know, express their feelings. You know, struggle stroke is real. You know what I mean? That's, you know, y'all have your thing, we have our thing, you know? We all got a little bit of toxicity that we like, isn't it? You know? We're choosing to do better though. We're choosing to do better. Alright, cool. Next couple. Next couple we're gonna deal with. Let's deal with Nate and Stacey, because we're gonna end on that, obviously, that crazy situation. So Nate and Stacia, sorry, I should say.
Discussion. Hold hands.
Oh my God. My mom told me the same thing.
Love your mom. It's true. Hold your hands now. Let me, a little tiny experiment. Do you not instantly feel more connected?
Of course.
Yeah.
I love this. You know what? I was just literally talking about this just today, actually, earlier on, filming for something for my other channel with one of my good friends, and we're talking about this situation about how in arguments and stuff, the touch is such a powerful weapon to disarm some of the heat that's in the argument. Because a lot of times the argument, like maybe not you're in the beginning when you first start dating someone, but when you get deeper in a relationship with somebody, the argument that gets heated as well is when people start feeling like people are pulling away from them, or people don't care about them, or people are not loving them, or, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes that little touch just reminds a person, nah, look, in the midst of the emotion right now, I still care about you. Do you know what I'm saying? I still got you. You know what I mean? So, you know, I appreciate that little gem. Sean's gonna say something, which is basically that he don't want to be touched. I'm playing with you, Sean. What are you gonna say?
No, I was annoyed at first, low key, you know, because I just had my eye on Dr. Pepper. She looked like she needed a siesta or something, because she looked tired, just tired. But, you know, I think that's a good point. You know, because when you do get into those arguments and disagreements, as when you're married or you're, you know, in a serious relationship, you lose sight of the person and you just go tete-a-tete. So I like that if we are holding hands, it kind of brings down the strength, right? And it allows us to, you know, have that physical touch. So I think it's good to start out that way, but I don't know if that's going to be the answer for everything, but I think it's a good place to start.
Go first, you.
She was dropping gems. That's why I said y'all can't really be too mad at Dr. Pepper, because she gave some gems that I think that we all can walk away with. One, the holding hands is very disarming, awkward for some, but, you know, really helpful. She also gave another one that I think if people practice, I think would be really helpful, is saying, hey, I'm very angry right now, but I'm not going anywhere. That one stood out for me because I think a lot of people, arguments get more heated because they're getting mad out of fear. Everything is very fear-based. And when you're able to let someone know, hey, I'm upset at you, but I have no plans to go anywhere, then they can take the fear out of the conversation, and then we can get to the root of the issue. And then other things that she didn't say that are similar to that is when you use like I feel statements, or even better yet, I hear you saying this and this is how I interpret it back. All of those things help focus the conversation, as Dr. Pepper was saying, like on the issue and not on each other. So I thought she was dropping gems, and they both seemed to really receive it well. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Go for it, Jay.
Yeah, so I was just going to touch on what Siwe said about removing the fear, because sometimes that can embolden some of the behaviors that you don't want to see, right? Because there's no fear of repercussions or the consequences if you just go off, right? But I think the scene in particular, it's important to have touch, because touch can also be reassurance, right? So at times when you may be feeling like you need to be vulnerable, or you feel like you're feeling down, that touch, that holding hands or that hug can release the endorphins and, you know, make you really relax with the person, and probably contribute to building a better bond between the both of you, right? So yeah, that was a nice touch from Dr. Pepper, because if you see how Stacia was, like, she recoiled first of all, as if like she's kind of shy to do it, but she's been pressing Nate to say that he loves her, right? And been pressing for all these different things about, and he seems to be going with it as well. Like, he's not so hesitant. So I think that more touch for this couple could lead to them getting even further in terms of their closeness. And ultimately, that's what she wants anyway. So, you know, yeah, I liked it. I like this particular scene. I think it will do wonders for them going forward if they continue to use touch and use the interventions that Dr. Pepper suggested.
Yeah, definitely hear that, man, and it's definitely powerful to do, you know, the touch. Some people touch, some people it's words of affirmation. Again, some people it's a gift. I think it really relates to, you know, your love language. So I'm out of breath because I was running up and down, but it really relates to your love language as well, I think, because, you know, I spoke about this earlier on, and I think Siwe kind of said it best, which is that out of fear, sometimes we can feel like the person's either like maybe stepping away from us, or maybe they're pulling away, or maybe they're not interested in the relationship anymore. And so things that are really small, I hope this will help somebody, things that are really, really small. We said this on the live the other day as well, talking about vulnerability and talking about emotions and talking about the Greeks' forms of love, about pragma, the form of love, and how pragma is all interested in duty, responsibility, you know, doing what's right, even though the emotions are not necessarily there. And when somebody does something, let's say for instance, Seaway, I don't know, I'm just going to give an example. Let's say me and Seaway have been arguing, but let's say her love language is acts of service, and I'll, even though we're arguing, I would go and get Seaway a coffee, and I'll bring it to her that morning. Like, babe, here's your coffee. Mark, this is a hypothetical, but yeah, I'm gonna bring her a coffee. You know what I'm saying? Now she might, because it's her love language, she might see it as, oh my god, like, I appreciate the fact he did that, even though we're arguing. That represents now that this is not I'm running away from you. This is, yes, we're having a moment, but I still care about you enough that in that moment my emotions are not dictating how I treat you. I'm not changing my baseline for how I treat you. And I was speaking to my friend about this and saying, like, I think for me, what I would introduce into my relationship in future, I couldn't do it beforehand because it was a bit difficult, but in future, what it'll be is that, you know, if we're married and we're going to bed and we've been arguing, we just say, listen, babe, love you, kiss, and go to bed. You understand? Now, people are still going to be vexed. People are still going to be angry. You might wake up a little bit pissed at me. You might not want me to even sleep next to you in the bed. All right, but we're gonna stick it out by just saying that's our baseline. The kiss, love you, go to bed, wake up in the morning, kiss, morning, babe. We're still gonna do about that, because what those are our baselines. We don't drop below those baselines and give ourselves any chance to kind of give ourselves any wriggle room to move mad. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's because it's about being which is pragmatic, and being able to say, hey, there are things that need to be duty over emotions. Just because I'm vexed at you, and we do this a lot, and you hear this a lot actually within couples, like, and it's normal because we're human beings, isn't it? Let's say, for instance, you cook breakfast most mornings. What's gonna happen? Now I'm emotional and I'm vexed. Breakfast ain't being cooked. You come downstairs, you don't smell bacon, you don't smell no eggs, you don't hear your coffee brewing. Nothing's getting done for you this morning. You're getting your own. And that's and that becomes a weapon sometimes in relationships. You know that you change the oil for her normally, and this is, well, you gonna see. We're gonna see who's gonna change your oil this time. you gonna change it yourself, because it ain't gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you because you want to show the person up, like in these kind of things. So the pragma is saying we still do these duty things, not because I feel like doing it, but because I know I should do it. And actually, this is actually my last point on this. I'll let you guys jump back in again. Sorry. This is actually very similar to a principle from a Christian perspective. I used to say a phrase which is that I can't remember what that phrase was, but basically it's saying that if you leave it to your emotions, you'll never want to. You'll choose when and where to praise the Lord or to celebrate the Lord. But we do these things in our spirit. If we do it with your spirit, it's spirit over feelings. That was it. Spirit over feelings. Because when you're in the spirit, it overrides the feelings, right? Sometimes I don't want to pray, but because I know that the God that I serve, I love him that much, and I know that he's done what he's done for me. When I'm in spirit, I don't feel the emotions to go and pray. I go and pray because my spirit leads me. And it's the same with love as well in relationships. If we deal with our emotions and let that lead us at points in time, I'm gonna do you dirty. I'm gonna definitely do you dirty, and I'm sure most of us probably would do as well. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, let someone else jump in as well, and let you guys have a say as well. You know, it's not a preaching session for myself. You know what I mean? Someone said, at least as long as Dunkin' Donuts. I hear you, bro. I hear you. You know, I hear you. Anyone else got any points they wanted to add to that? No. Okay, cool.
I was gonna say, sorry, I was gonna say, like, try to go to bed on a good note with your partner, right? Because, like, you're not promised tomorrow, and also when you wake up, you can start the day with good vibes, right? You don't want to start the day beefing, because that's gonna offset the energy going into your day, right? So, and like you said, learning someone's love language can be so beneficial in bringing you closer, but it can also be done the other way, because if you are on bad terms or you have an argument or whatever, then you're going to cut off the provision of your partner's love language if you're that spiteful, right? Not saying everybody is, but it can happen. And when that happens, your partner feels it more because it's their love language. So it impacts them more, it hurts more when it's no longer there. So it's a double-edged sword, but I do advocate for definitely trying to resolve your beefs and your conflicts that same day. Tomorrow's a new day. You don't have to carry over that same energy. Just thought I'd add that in.
Yeah, do you know what? And you sparked up a thought in my head as well. Like, you don't want to kill your tomorrow by cutting off the pipeline today. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? You don't want to kill your tomorrow, and these how relationships can get like cut off. You know, and we've all been there. Do you know what I mean? Someone hurts you, they annoy you, you know, they pee you off, and then you cut off the things that you said are duty filled as a partner, and then what happens is it's not today that the relationship starts to die, but by tomorrow, I'm not saying literally tomorrow, but the future of your relationship is dying, and you're asking yourself where it started dying. It started dying when you stopped being duty filled. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not everybody's case, by the way. There are different reasons for different relationships as to why things break down, please. But I'm just saying, in a lot of our cases, we kill tomorrow because we're dealing with you today and forgetting that I'm not going to feel like this tomorrow. I'm going to feel differently tomorrow. So if I deal with you with my emotions, I'm going to deal with you today as I feel today, but by tomorrow, that's not how I feel. Do you know what I mean? So then you've killed tomorrow off because you felt like what you felt today, which is why emotions, you don't want to live in it to make a decision. You're allowed to feel, you're allowed to express how you feel, but don't live in it, you know, and make decisions from it. You know what I mean? So what you're saying, don't be spiteful, cut off the love language pipeline, and then you'll be asking why is she dry by tomorrow. You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense, you know? Oh, gracious king. What are you saying, Seaway?
I mean, I really like what JR said, but sometimes
go for it.
Sometimes you can't sleep next to people you beefing with. Like when the energy wrong, like if the energy is real stank, I can't sleep next to stank energy. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. Sometimes folks gotta separate. We can revisit this in the morning.
Nah, that's the perfect time when you need that good late night cuddle. You know, you touch their leg, but you know they touch your leg, but you know you don't really want them to touch your leg, and then you know you can really connect. That's my thoughts. Those have been the best resolutions to arguments. Is not to keep the fight going, but to just not, you know, not to separate. You get in that bed and you give a little cuddle. You might get a little shoulder, but then that little shoulder softens up, you know, then you just rub a little thigh, you know.
Yeah, that's like for like that level 6 fight, sure.
It's the best because you got when you like fighting, you got that like it's like that one little touch, you know, it's like
I'm still vexing you, but you know what?
You know, but the adrenaline is rushing, you know, so then it's like, you know, you could just redirect the energy to something else.
That sounds good. It sounds good.
See what said, that's not a hit for her. She said,
I've been where you've been and what you're saying, but I'm telling you, it works out better when you do it the other way and you just let that chemistry between you two take over. It's the same thing like the holding of the hands, because when you go to sleep with that tension, it's like it just sits with you. That's what I think.
I think everyone's different on this. I think it kind of depends. Some people can physical touch their way into resolution. Me, if I'm mad, I'm mad. So, but I'm also the Sag in me. I'm not carrying this for 5 days and 7 days and 7 nights. We can talk about it tomorrow, but on the day of.
That's fair.
What is it? You go to the separate corners in the fighting ring. They do that for a reason. Let everybody air out.
Not Seaway saying to go to separate corners.
Go to your corners.
Go to your couch.
Yo,
you know where you live.
You know what I think? I feel like life is too short, and maybe it's just like a thing. Like, but like lately, especially, it's like sometimes you be beefing and you just fighting to fight, and you tussling to tussle, and sometimes it's like you're not even really. You're fighting for your point versus fighting for something. And I think it's just if you're in a marriage and a long-term relationship, it's better to just sometimes you got to let it go, you know.
And highlight LaToya comment too, because that's really what it is. Exactly.
Yo.
I act like he Mother Teresa, but that's the real reason. This is what's really going on.
You know, I think Siri's right. I think everyone has different ways of wanting to handle it and what they feel comfortable in their particular level. Me personally, I don't need to touch you, but I think I would like to have a baseline. We going to sleep in the same bed. That's for me. That's my baseline. My baseline is because no matter how angry I am, it's almost like my baseline with swearing. No matter how angry I am, I never want to swear at you. You know what I mean? I never want to be cussing you out. I'm never touching you and putting hands on you. There are baselines to my behavior, and I think for me personally, a baseline would be, even if we're angry, we sleep in the same bed.
That's a
Because
good
I'm
baseline.
not. Someone asked me, would you go to the couch? I said, for what? Do we not pay for the bed together? If you want to go to the couch, you can go to the couch, but I won't be going to the couch. So I'm gonna sleep in my bed.
Kojo, you're right. That's a good baseline. And I should say you should try to stick with that. But the worst thing you can do is let her go to the couch. If you let her go to the couch, y'all better both go to the couch. How about that? I'm just some friendly advice. If you dare go to sleep and let her go to that couch, that may be the worst thing you can ever do. So you better just do, hey, we just having a slumber party in the living room. You can do that.
That would work for me. I don't mind because we gonna get I'm gonna come and get my touch in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm saying
don't sleep in that bed and have her on that couch.
I'm gonna spread like this. Well, since you ain't sleeping in bed tonight, it's angel wings, baby. No, I say that because I think to myself as well. Like, and my thing is also, I don't want my anger to let me. I don't want to move in my anger. I think I'm trying to learn how to really control my anger because I know when I get emotional, brother, actions that come out a bit mad. So I personally for me personally, again, this is not about anyone else, just me personally. If I don't want you to go to the couch, I don't want you to be so angry that you have to separate completely and leave the whole place that you can't even be in the same place. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like if I say, like, I'm even concerned if I have to say, of course there are certain arguments where we know you might get into an argument that will be so frustrating and you have to say, listen, right now I can't talk about it, let's just put it to rest, whatever, right? But when there's some people when they say they're angry, they're so angry that they got to leave because they could do something. That's not the kind of anger that's acceptable. I don't think you don't want to be in that situation. And I see that same thing. It's like I shouldn't get to myself so angry that I'm taking up my own pillow, walking to the couch. For what? For what? You gonna make me leave my own bed because I'm vexed at you? No, I need to sleep in that bed. You stay your side, then I'll stay my side. Maybe we don't want to cuddle. That's fine. But I'm gonna stay in that bed, okay? Because them silk sheets, that thread count is different, okay? The couch don't have the thread count, all right? The pillows are pristine for a reason. I'm not going to sleep on the couch. I don't want to get so angry to that point that I have to do that. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying I won't get angry. I'm just saying that I want to make sure that's my baseline because I don't want to ever go below it because I never want to go into that place of anger where I get to that point. Because at that point, anything can happen. Anything can be said. And once something is said, it can't be taken back. Now you're looking at me and you're thinking about it 5 years' time, 10 years' time, you know what I mean? 2 years' time, whatever. Certain things that I said, I'm sure you know Sean, so you know Seaway as well. There's certain things when it's said, bruh, people are thinking about it for time. You understand? But them silk sheets and the count thread,
But that's why I told you, if you know you got a nasty mouth, or if you know you don't say stuff right, it's okay to take a couple seconds. You
That's
can't
true.
be packing your bag on like how Zach was with your backpack on your back every time you get a chance. And Sean, keep your mic.
Zach needed to pack them bags.
See where imagine she knew exactly what she was doing.
Exactly. She just wanna, this is what Seaway does. Seaway is
You
Seaway.
could have kept your mic muted. We didn't ask you to unmute.
Well, you didn't need to. We're gonna hash this out because I'm about sick of you.
My point is, you can't be just running at every sign of drama, but sometimes people need to take their little 5 seconds before they say something they don't need to say.
Okay.
Listen, some people even need to count to 100 just to cool down.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen, the ability to kiss and make up is a great barometer for where your relationship is. Right? If you can stay mad at each other, if you can go to sleep angry at the person that you want to be with, then that's an issue too. Because you're ready to just be relaxed in your anger and not even address the issue that needs to be addressed. You blatantly know there's something there. You blatantly know you need to talk. But, that's when the stubbornness kicks in, right? And you don't want to concede and you don't want to apologize, or you want them to apologize first. And it becomes silly. You know what I'm saying? So I think kissing and makeup is vital because, like Sean said earlier, man, that could lead to some of the most passionate experiences that you might have. You're redirecting that anger, that mad energy into passion, and again, trying to rekindle the good bits of your relationship. you know. And the other thing I would say is, man, if you are sleeping with someone who has upset you or you've upset them, man, you don't want to be sleeping with one eye open. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. Or like in some cases you might have to sleep with both eyes open. Just like just put the eye thing on and cover your eyes and like pretend that you sleep when really you're awake. You're just listening for any slight movement because you don't trust them. You don't trust what they're gonna do when they're angry. So the best thing to do is try and resolve it before you go to sleep. Wake up the next day. If there are further talking points or things that need to be addressed, do it the next day. But try and resolve most of the animosity. Try and get rid of that, because holding on to it makes it fester, and then you become more amped and animated when you try to explain your position.
Can I do an experiment real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Just a quick one. Level 9 argument, not an 8, not a 7. Level 9 argument. Your option is stay up, make it work to go to bed together, or go to your separate corners for a night. I just want you to drop which one. Separate corners is 2. Stay in the bed is 1, and your zodiac sign. I just want to see something. Don't comment nothing else. 2 is go to your separate corners. 1 is stay in the bed and your zodiac sign. I'm just trying to see. Whatever your level 9 argument is, you got to put your zodiac sign. You got to redo it with your zodiac sign. Trying to see something.
One night when you're sleeping. One night.
Can we just see the diversity of signs that are calling out ones?
The fire signs.
So that's a level 9 is cheating.
The fire signs doing what the fire signs do. Until we see the rest.
Oh, freaking hell.
Listen, the fire signs might be pyromaniacs. You need to be careful with the fire signs, man.
Taronda, you
got a 1. Taronda's a Sag, right with you, and she said 1.
She messing up for the fire signs. Hold on.
She ran off for the fire signs. I get it though. If the fire signs, most of them don't want to. They need to go to a separate space because they're hot. I get it.
A lot of the Leos trying to work it out in the bed. I'm surprised.
Look, people be learning beyond the astrological, you know, people be learning that sometimes being in that bed gets more resolution, even if it don't lead to, you know.
Jay, 2 is go to your respective corners. 1 is stay in the bed and work it out.
Jay gonna do everything. You know Jay gonna play all day.
Yeah, I think. Well, actually, I didn't see as many correlations as I thought, because most of your subscribers want to stay in the bed and work it out. So that's great.
Seriously, why are y'all not enough toxic like I am?
Your case is dismissed. Take care with prejudice. Goodbye. Clap, clap. Where's my gavel?
I actually get it. I get it. You know what I mean? I do get it. I get that some people might need that space. I prefer if you didn't. You know what I mean? I prefer if we, you know what I mean? And I also understand that you're not going to work out every issue. Sometimes you will go to bed frustrated because the conversation has not gone the way that you want it to go. That's just life. That one is not... that one's not going to change. There'll be days where you go frustrated to bed. I don't want you to go to bed angry. If you go to bed frustrated, it's a different level. Going to bed angry, yo, it does something to your heart rate, man. You're gonna wake up in the morning with heart palpitations. You know your heart do. You don't want that kind of stress. And you wake up in the morning like, why am I? I need to remember the argument. What was I said? Like, I don't want to wake up with that on my chest. You know what I mean? You're looking at me with vexedness upon your eye. But if you go to bed frustrated, I totally get it, because the conversation, maybe we didn't have enough time to finish it. You know, we've got work at we got to get up at 6 a.m. We've got an argument. It's 1 a.m. now. We've got 5 hours sleep. Listen, at that point, it's 1 a.m. Let's go to bed. Yeah. I hear you, babe. Listen, I know you wanted to say your last point, but let's leave it here. Let's talk about this tomorrow because we need to go and sleep and go to work tomorrow. Now, nobody wants to go to work frustrated, lack of sleep. That's going to further exacerbate the argument the second day. So let's get that quality sleep in us. You know what I'm saying? Go and grab your pillow from the chair, come back to the bed, and let's sleep in the bed, okay? And tomorrow we're going to talk about this, okay? I know you're breathing heavy right now, but I got you, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, but I also get the fact that some people need that space. You know, we have all different areas of maturity in different areas. There's other areas I'll probably be more immature in, and the other areas that other people are more mature in as well. So it's all growth.
They said I had to specify that level 9. I didn't want to specify the level 9 because everyone's level 9 is different. Like for some people, level 9 is cheating. For other people, level 9 is spending their money, they rent money on something. You know what I mean? But I would say level 9 is you and him are pulling the Michaela and Zach. Let me just say that whatever got you snatching suitcases and knocking over plates and running through the house, that's your level 9. Whatever that is, the stuff that got you embarrassing yourself, having your neighbors call your phone, that's level 9. So
yeah.
See, where they told you to put some lavender oil on to relax so you can feel sleepy and go and get in the bed.
That's the Benadryl. I ain't doing no incense.
He said, bump your lavender oil and sage. She gonna take a Unisom. It takes a Unisom.
See, now people changing their rank because I explained what the level 9. I said level 9.
No one said level 9 should be cheap for everybody.
It sounds like Seaway might need some ashwagandha.
But don't that do something else?
It definitely helps with sleep. Produces testosterone.
It helps with something else too, though. That ashwagandha root hit different, bro.
It does. But sleep is one of the main benefits.
No, she needs some melatonin. That ashwagandha kick up. Maybe she might not want to tussle no more.
I wish Chandra, who laying in the bed after all that? Nobody. I don't know why y'all trying to lay in the bed after all that. Exactly. After all that tussling, y'all gonna make me believe that y'all holding hands and singing
Kumbaya.
Why are we using those two fools as a reference point for anything but chaos? We ain't talking about Zach and Michaela. We talking about two functional people in a relationship that have had a disagreement, and what is a better way to resolve it? I just met you 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I need to leave because we both ain't ready. If it's risen to that level so early, so no. If you're in a marriage a long time. Well, you talked about Zach and Michaela. So
I'm giving that level of chaos, that level of anger. I'm talking about that level. Someone said, you just said 27.
You know are funny. Listen, no, but you know what? Look, yeah, listen, where, I think, again, you will just, I said it, just have a baseline for you guys, have a baseline. Someone said they can't sleep, we can sleep in a bed if it's 8 or below. Someone said they can sleep in a bed if it's 8 or low. Look, you know what, so long as you're not cheating on me, as long as it's not a conversation where I'm saying, I think you just flirted with my colleague or something crazy, then, of course, at that point, it's not even about sleeping in the same bed. At that point, we need to ask some serious questions. We're not sleeping tonight. We need to get some questions, okay?
No,
that's infidelity.
Work it through, Kojo.
No,
that's infidelity.
We can sleep. We can definitely sleep because what we need to do is going to happen during business hours. So, you cheating on me, fooling around with a coworker. Go wherever you sleep, wherever you want to sleep. But don't worry, what's going to happen is during business hours.
At least Kojo had a very mature response. Yours is not very mature.
That is mature. That is very mature and sound.
Where them papers at?
Exactly.
For better or worse does not mean I draw my papers because you was cheating. You're supposed to talk it out. At least get an understanding. You can still leave, but you talk about draw your papers up. That's not for better or worse. My thing is, here's my thing. Unpopular opinion, right?
Go for it. Yeah.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
And I really mean this, and I'm married. If you don't mean for better or worse, take that ish out your vows. And I'm dead serious. I am so tired of people having vows for kicks and giggles. And no, that doesn't mean you take abuse. But if you have all these hard lines for one particular action, I'm not talking about ongoing actions that are literally abusive, emotionally abusive. I'm not saying that. But if you have all these hard lines, you can have them. But take for better or for worse or all that other bull crap out your vows. And that I feel very strongly about that, because I feel like people be like, for better or for worse, or unless you gamble all our money, for better or for worse, or if you cheat on me one time, for better or for worse, or you disrespect my mama, for better or for worse. I mean, the list goes on. So just take for better or for worse out your vows.
Yeah, but for better or for worse does not mean that you accept anything and that you don't have boundaries. Now, again, you get into a marriage and you say the vows with the person that you are aligned with, right? So if you and your marriage, and that's where it comes down to, you do what works for you, but that can't be blanket for everybody. So that's my hard line. Your hard line might not be my hard line, you know? So you have other things that are boundaries and barriers for you. Cheating is mine. It's mine. And that's it. I'm not accepting anything less. And nor should anyone have to. Whatever your bottom line is, you get on the same page with your spouse, and you two determine what works for you. If that's not something that pushes you over your edge, then that works. But that can't be for everybody. And adultery is a thing because it's a thing. And that's also biblical. So
that's fine. That's what I'm saying. Just write your vows. Just write your vows, and whatever you vow to, be able to stick to that. Because people are always talking about, oh, why marriages and blah 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 and aren't working out or whatever. It's because one, we can always say that women had less options, so they had to take more. That is a big part of it. But the other part is, I think back in the day, people had a different idea of what marriage means, and they had a lot higher tolerance for different things, and their boundaries were more, I would say, less defined. I'm not saying it's better or worse now. I'm not even going to make a judgment about it. I just think you should write your own vows and stick to them. But when you put for better or for worse in your vows, there's a lot of worser in life, because you're dealing with humans who do effed up things. And that's all I'm saying. When you get married, no, humans do effed up things, and they cross boundaries. Humans are boundary effing crossers. So if you don't know that humans are boundary crossers, you may not want to get married, because they finna cross your boundary.
So what we're
now,
saying,
if they continually cross your boundary, then you may want to evaluate that. But I'm just saying.
So is cheating a rap? Is what we're saying, guys? Are we saying cheating's a rap?
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah? I'm not asking. Is everyone's cheating's a rap? Is it a rap for you? Is it a done deal? One time they cheated,
Definitely,
one time
100%
rap.
No, and I have I don't like to put it out there, because men will play in your face, but I have like the opposite of a cheater. But I literally just don't view. I just feel like there's a lot worse things that people can do to you. Now, if you out here neoing, you know what I mean, like got the mistress and the sister wives and the babies and the that's different. I'm not talking about that.
But I just see where you can't just like what Dr. Pepper was telling Stasia, you can't force what you believe and how you feel to be true as blanket for everybody else. And I think
that. I didn't say that. I didn't force it on you.
But this is what you are saying, because you said you shouldn't say the vows if cheating, if you don't want to, change them up. No, you can still
you shouldn't. I'm not saying what you're saying. You're misconstruing what I'm saying. You can have whatever boundaries, whatever rules, whatever you want for your marriage and Kojo's future marriage, JR's marriage. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to. My thing is, I'm just talking in general, not just the cheating. People have for better, for worse with asterisks on it. And that is annoying to me, because if you're not willing to work through lots of different type of boundary crossing, no matter what your boundaries are, then you're not really saying for better or for worse. That's all I'm saying. Everyone can have their own boundaries.
So I think that is a more clearer version of what you were saying, because no one should be able to endure what is unacceptable to them, right? And we're not talking about petty things here, but cheating for me and for some others are things that are non-negotiables, right? And I know for me that I'm somebody that's open to conversation, open to counseling. So if we can root cause what the issue is before the cheating happens, then I'm good with that. And I know how my mind works, that I'm going to continue to see the physical act play out in my mind, and it's not going to be a healthy relationship for us. So I know that that's why I need to disassociate myself from that quickly once it happens. Now, listen, it's not to say that if we disagree or if we have major life disagreements or things like that, no, some things can absolutely be worked out, but some things can absolutely not. And I think everybody gets the freedom to determine a few things that are non-negotiables for them, and you should not bend on that.
I love this conversation. It's good. So wait, cheating, right, is a no-go for people, right? Okay, so to what extent are we talking? I'm not saying anything's wrong here. I'm just saying to what extent is if your partner texted a colleague a little flirty, would that be able to be forgiven? Is that what's that category? That category 3, 4?
Your colleague or his colleague?
Oh, sorry, her colleague. Sorry.
No, your husband is texting his wife's colleague.
No, so for us, obviously, man, them, it'll be your wife texting her colleague. For you, for the ladies, husband texting his colleague. Would obviously texting them something a little bit naughty. Is that unforgivable? Would that come into your no negotiation or no forgiveness cheating in that aspect? You know,
I'm not the one to ask, because I think I'm kind of, I don't want to say evolved to say that you guys aren't evolved, but I'm kind of beyond this. I view things differently. Like I feel like some people view cheating as the act, and I'm one of those people who want to get down to the bottom of why you did what you did, because that's the real issue. You know what I mean? So that's how I view it. Like when people say, "Oh, my husband or my wife or my girlfriend or whatever cheated on me, so I'm out," I feel like you completely missed the reason why your relationship ended. You really should be getting down to the root issue, and a lot of people don't get down to the issue because they're looking at the symptom or the disease, which is the cheating, but not looking at like what caused it. And it's a symptom. Yeah, it's a symptom. So if you know, I would be more concerned why my husband or wife feels like they need to chit chat, or what they're looking for out of life. Do they need this extra dose of attention, or what they're looking for, versus like what they're doing.
Negroes don't need no reason. I'll tell you that straight.
But sometimes they don't. But sometimes the answer is, I'm just one of those people who like lots of, you know, like the answer could be, it's nothing wrong in the relationship. I just kind of have, I lean more towards a polyamorous, let's say, lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with you. I just need an addition, right? Then the question is, are you down to be poly with me, or do you want to go your separate way? And most people probably be like, I'm gonna take my backpack and I'm out. Or you can ask that question. It could be like, you know, I really feel like, you know, I don't have the safe space to talk to you, so I'm looking for attention from others. And then you can be like, okay, that's fixable. You know what I mean? So there's lots of different reasons.
I could definitely live with, you know, working through that kind of scenario where nothing physical has happened, but it's the starting of something, or there's some, you know, dangerous kind of flirtation. I could work through that, because I know that it's natural. A lot of people do flirt. Sometimes it's a variety of reasons that it could happen. But if you come to me, we talk about it, we nip it in the bud before it gets to the physicality of it all. Because again, for me, it's the physicality. Once the bodies exchange, that's the part I can't get back from. So again, not saying that has to be your thing, but that is my thing. And I would let's work on it. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out how we can get past this and, do what we need to do. So
that's worse to me. That's worse to me. You're flirting and kikiing with your coworker that you see every day. To me, is worse than you going down to Vegas and doing a little something funny at the Bunny Ranch, or hooking up with a random person on Bourbon Street. I'm just trying to list things that people happen that are just whatever. But that to me is better than you kikiing with your coworker.
Well, again, that's your spade, but this is my spade.
Yeah, but I'm saying you got a bigger problem with the person kikiing with the coworker than the one.
Well, listen, if I got up into some juicy juice, right? Trust me, I didn't just walk into it. I'm not, walking in a room and the panties are hitting the floor. So clearly something has had to happen, and the same for a woman. There has something that has happened that now the physicality has happened. You don't just be in a marriage, you see somebody out that's attractive, next thing y'all in the bathroom hooking up. Some things have happened in there, and some other things have happened in the past that made you feel like it was okay to do that. So that's all I'm saying is, like, I'd rather get you before it leads to the point where your barriers are all the way down and your panties are around your ankles. Then let's get to it then. Again, that's me. The physical for me, I can't come back from it. And again, that's my issue. That's my thing. So those things have to be, and they were clearly laid out, before I got married, and it was not an issue in my marriage. But I will say that you have to be on the same page with your spouse, right? Because if you guys are not, then it's going to cause problems.
Yeah, what are you saying?
I think that obviously there's emotional cheating and physical cheating, and both can lead to betrayal and a sense of mistrust being had in the relationship from that point. So, I kind of had I come down the same way on both. It's not acceptable to me. And but I do get that some people do like attention, but if you're in a relationship, you should really go to your partner first, right? And if there is a disconnect with the amount of attention you're getting, you still need to go to your partner first and express that before you go and step out and do anything. And in the scenario that you asked, like where my wife might message one of my friends or something naughty or flirty or anything like that, listen, the moment she's done that, she knows that's going to cause chaos. That's going to cause a rift between my friend, and it's going to cause a rift between me and her. It's not like that can't run straight. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't be able to overcome something like that very easily. I'll be honest. I'm not going to hold it against her, but that's going to be a firm line for me that's been crossed.
I'm hearing you on this. I'm hearing you in this cheating, eh? Yeah, I hear it. I definitely hear it. Different levels to that, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely hear what both people, Seaway and Sean and Jay, are saying as well in terms of, the different the different lines and the different different areas for people. Do you know what I mean? As for me, I don't know. It's a tough one, really. I'm not gonna say that I would leave if I was married. I would probably, my natural inclination would be to try and work it out. I would try to work it out. Doesn't mean necessarily it's going to work, but I would try to work it out. I would try to see if I can make it work. But, at the same time, I just hope that obviously that, the inner darkness doesn't come out, because, there's a person inside of me, that it's just, he's just waiting for an opportunity.
You gonna try to get your look back?
The lick's gonna be delicious too.
You better just get your lick back, Kojo, and move the hell on.
You know what I mean? I'm a tap.
Y'all tearing up whole households. You could have just got your lick back and then call it a day, and y'all go about y'all business.
You know, so yeah, but no.
Don't listen to me. I'm stupid.
Yeah, it'd be tough to do. You know what I mean? It'd be tough to do. So definitely.
Does it matter who it's with, Kojo?
Absolutely.
That matters.
That one does.
That matters. That ups the disrespect. You know what I'm saying? There's like, I mean, all of it's disrespectful, right? But like some things that people do is like disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
Like you were trying to hurt me with that one. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. That's why I feel like the coworker is worse because like this coworker probably knows your partner exists. They're probably like, you know what I mean? Like there's layers to it. It makes it worse. That coworker knows that you're in a relationship.
Things like doing where you stay, man. Like for things like, if you cheat in the household we're in, like you've mashed up the thing.
That's a violation.
That's a violation.
Don't do it in the marital bed.
Don't do that.
Well, you're trying to get divorced if you do that. You don't want to be married if you do that.
Listen, some people would do it to get caught to prove a point to their partner. You feel what I'm saying? That's how malicious some people will get. So
at that point, that person's trying to kill you, and that's fine. That's fine. That's the game we're playing. That's fine.
But I will say, to Seaway's point though, like I think a lot more in modern times when it comes to marriages, people are making up their own vows, right? They're coming with their own vows because it's more heartfelt than to just recite the traditional stuff. So they're kind of adding their own nuances or their own details to try and personalize their union. I think that's happening more than it did before, because before it was just like you get married in a church, everybody says their vows, the same stuff recited by the vicar or the priest or whatever. But I think now you're seeing a bit more personalization with how people are doing their ceremonies.
Yeah, and I love Mona's comment because I don't know if you guys were young when you guys got married, but a lot of times when men and women get married too young and they kind of have to do a lot of growing up together, I see a lot of those marriages and relationships have a lot of infidelity because they're trying to grow and learn and evolve together at a young age while being married, and that's difficult. So, but I respect everyone's boundaries. Everyone has to have them. I just think when you get married, just be clear about what your boundaries are and what your vows are, and stick to those and honor those. Because if you have so many boundaries and everything is a deal breaker, you really didn't need to get married. Because the likelihood of a human violating those boundaries are high, and you might as well get rid of the legal paperwork if you're going to walk away, if you have lots and lots and lots of boundaries, because the likelihood of them being broken is high, or crossed is high. So you might as well just stay away from the paperwork.
I hear you guys. I hear you. I don't know how I got away to this point, but it's a beautiful segue it was, and I've enjoyed. So let's get back to Stacia and Nate as well. There's another clip here as well in terms of their relationships.
I'm like, it's always been about you, Ben. This entire.
That's not the one. Sorry, apologies, guys.
Is that fair? Yeah, that's fair.
Not the one either. Okay.
I'm like, it's always been.
That's not the one either. Wow, I don't think I remember where the clip is. Let me find one of the clips. Sorry, baby.
Papa Mento really showed me a loving father, a loving husband, really taught me to respect myself, and he was a protector as well. That was something that I wanted to have in my marriage.
Do you know what? My inner racism jumped out and I made judgments without even hearing anything they said. I'm just going to be honest with you. My discriminatory nature came through, and I made judgments without even hearing a word she said, But I want to know what you guys' thoughts were on Stacia and Nate in this situation as well. I'll play the other clip as well when his dad obviously showed up as well. But What was you guys' thoughts to this? In fact, let me play the clip with the father figure, and then we can talk
Wouldn't
about
want
it.
it any other way.
Okay, sure.
So it was easy for me. It was easy. Like I said, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Appreciate you, Dad.
Yeah.
Love you.
Now, first and foremost, I was vexed. This is my good black t-shirt that you crying into and putting your makeup and mascara up on into, okay, which is going to be hard to get out. But what's your thoughts to this, guys? What was your thoughts to these two scenarios that we saw with both Stasia and Nate and them meeting family? What was your thoughts?
I'll comment on this one because Kojo, I'm worse than you. I did you one better. I didn't even listen to the scene with Stasia and those people. I'm sorry.
Papa Minto.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize about that. But I will say I was paying attention, JR Fool. I will say I was paying attention to the scene with his dad. And the most beautiful part about that scene was the fact that he didn't want credit for doing what Black single mothers do all the time. And I love that for him. He was like basically saying, like, I did what I had to do for my kids, and I don't need no extra credit because I was gonna be there for my kids. And I thought that was beautiful. And I also thought it was nice that he kind of gave his dad his flowers while he could receive them, and let him know, you know, how much he meant and how much strength he got from him. I also thought, though, in the scene, even though that part was nice, they also kind of doubled down why he doesn't express himself well. I don't know if the dad really caught on what she was saying, but yeah, we kind of see why he can't express himself well. I think that was kind of evident from that scene as well. So, yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Sean, JR. Go for it, JR.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was a very good, cool moment. I think we need to see more of that type of stuff, to be honest. Right, where you have that heartwarming exchange with the father and the son, right? Because as we know, there are quite a lot of fathers that are absent in their children's lives. So I think it was refreshing to see. And, you know, it was also very impressive to see Nate give his father his flowers, tell him that he appreciated him. And, you know, it's good to see because the father is a mentor to the young boy child, right? So growing up, seeing his mentor and watching the way he's guided him, yeah, I think we need to see more of that type of imagery on our screens. Oh, Sean, I'll pass the baton to you, Sean.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I agree. I think if we're just talking about Nate and his dad, you could just see even in their embrace that there was a little awkwardness to the hug. And I think sometimes it looks like the father's a little older, so it's generational where they're not super expressive about their feelings, about their emotions, but it seems like he's trying, right? And he was able to touch on some great points, whether it was talking about how he cried by himself, or how he did what he needed to do as a father. Very stoic. So it just explains a lot too about Nate's particular personality, in terms of him being a little guarded, him being a little slower to express himself, and that it explains that, why sometimes Stasia may get frustrated in certain things that he doesn't do, that she may want him to do. But I give Nate credit. Looks like he's really trying. He's open to therapy. So I think he is evolving, but I could see a little bit in their connection that the dad struggled with his emotions. The other part was similar to you, Coach, it kind of broke my heart a little bit that a man of no color had to be the one to show Stasia her value. As you know, I'm glad somebody did. I'm glad he did, but it just sucks that it had to be a man of no color. You know, it sucks that it couldn't be her own biological father. But I'm glad that she had someone, right? But sometimes that imagery, and I didn't see that in him. What I heard in him when he talked about her was more of like, I treated her like I would treat my daughters, which was great. But sometimes folks of other colors, they see that and then they feel that savior complex. So I'm glad that didn't play out that way. So yeah, no, I don't think her dad is a white guy. From everything, she's never said that. The only thing she said when they were first talking about biracial and experiences was that she could identify as a lighter skinned woman with some of the things that Nate talked about. But I never heard her say she was half white. She might be, but I never heard that.
Yeah, I hear that, bro. I think that was, you just kind of summed up what my thoughts were as well, because it was my thought was, oh, sorry guys, my thought was, oh man, like, you know, there wasn't a man of color to show that, and it's almost like, again, it just puts that narrative that we again are absent. But I don't know if her dad is black, so we don't even know. So, but yeah, that's why I said my inner discrimination jumped out immediately, like, oh my god. But like I said, I don't know the full details of the situation as well. So yeah, but I like the way you summed that up. So I won't even touch on that. I think you've done a good job talking about that as well. Let's shift it. Let's shift it. The last one of the night.
I'm just not comfortable reading to you my letter. Every time I've opened up and every time I've shared something with you, it's been used against me, or, you know, it's been shared with someone else.
Yeah. Morgan and Ben. Morgan and Ben. Yeah. She's something, isn't she, Morgan and Ben, eh? Yeah, she's something. What's your thoughts, guys, Morgan and Ben? You know, what's your thoughts? Yeah? Both for jail.
Man, she's still punishing Ben. And she deliberately did that. She deliberately wrote down whatever she wanted to write. And
this is another thing.
Yeah, she deliberately wrote down whatever she wanted to write. And, you know, got him to the point where she was about to say what she'd written, right? Tell him what she'd written. And then she deliberately pulled that back. Like, the thing is, she likes seeing Ben hurt. Like, you can see his face. We can see his face, his facial expressions. Man, the stuff that she's doing is really impacting him, and it's deliberate. It's targeted because it seems like she doesn't want to get over what she felt was a betrayal, even though she's been doing the same thing. Like, she's been talking to Alexis about their relationship, right? That one of the problems I have with Morgan in this show is that she seems to think that Ben can only speak to her, and if he goes outside to speak to anybody else, even people who are in the same experiment who may be experiencing similar things to what he's experiencing, even if he isn't throwing her under the bus per se and mentioning things specifically, right? She has a problem with it. That's too controlling. It's restricting his access to other people. She can't be the only source of information, happiness, sadness. Like, she can't be the source of everything. And why would he want to make her that prominent in his life when she is so mean and aggressive when she is ready to be? Right? She's the type of person that will withhold doing your love language, like we spoke earlier. She'll do stuff to spite you, and she gets off on it. It's like she's hulking up the more she hurts him. You know, from when I saw her throw down the flowers in front of his face. Like, from there, I haven't seen her. Like, it's just getting to the point now where she just maliciously doing it. It's like she enjoys seeing him in pain, and I don't like that. So that's why I'm so concerned that they didn't get much time with Dr. Pepper. Like, she literally did not give them, especially Morgan, any type of talking to her about what she's doing. And I'm not sure if that's a production decision, and like to get more sensational stuff for the TV. But this is a relationship, and Bin's on the receiving end of this type of treatment. And, you know, these type of experiences can really affect someone going forward into their next relationship. So, yeah, man, I just saw this and I just thought, man, it's so spiteful. Like, I hope Bin just says no on decision day. Like, just no long thing. Just say, look. And I hope he lists off some of the things that she's done and how it's made him feel as well. Because he needs to, like, I'm not saying he's weak, but he doesn't have the gumption. He doesn't have she's not afraid to hurt him. She's not afraid of the consequences. She's not afraid of anything. She just quick to fire off and expect him to just sit there and take it. And him trying to be a punch bag and just give them the facial expressions. She doesn't care about the facial expressions. She doesn't care about how he feels. Not at all. So, yeah, not good, Morgan. And I don't think she can fix up. I don't think she can change. I think she's set in her ways. I think that's just how she's going to be. And I don't think she's compatible with Bin at all. I don't see any chance for this one. Unless he's a glutton for punishment.
I love that, JL. Good points. Sean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like with her, she's very selfish in terms of her perspective. You know, it's me, you betrayed me. And I don't know if she's intentionally deceptive, but it comes off as deception because we've talked about it, right? Where she is totally disregarding the fact that the thing that led to this is the fact that you lied and you wanted him to cover the lie, but instead he told a friend because, and honestly, you know, and listen, I've seen him for 5 seconds. Could he be lying? Could he be somebody dark behind the scenes? Sure. I don't really see that. But could that be the case? Okay. But what I see is somebody who definitely has a certain standard, and he did enter into the situation very judgmental of her, and his expectations was she, you know, should be one particular way. But he was completely fearful of her reaction, right? And something happened that he felt uncomfortable with. So he was like most people would do, is let me talk to somebody who I'm in close proximity to that I can flesh this out. Because you can't talk to the person that affects you because she doesn't have an objective ear. She's like, no, you should be on my side, ride or die. She said that she had that same attitude when she was talking about that ex-boyfriend that she felt she was so head over heels in love with. She was like, he would do anything for me. He would fight for me. So that's her attitude. So if you're trying to tell her something she's doing is wrong or was wrong, there is no space or room to be heard in the conversation. So he did the next best thing. Might not have been right, quote unquote, based on what they had agreed on. But at the end of the day, she's pitching a fit like he dropped her cat off the balcony. Like, I just don't understand where she feels so justified. And when you look at her, she feels justified. You can't tell her any different about what she's doing or where her role was in this. And then to now you want to compact it. She was like, I forgave him and I gave him another chance. And yet he did it again. He did what again? He talked to Justin? You know, there is no safe space. And she finally got to that. I realized I might not have been a safe space, but I just don't think she gets it. and his people-pleasing ways. And I also don't like, it kind of read a little disingenuous, how he was yesing her to death. And I get it totally, and now I'm going to therapy. Ben, like, the instant revelation, I need you to have a little bit of backbone. Like, come on, bro. Like, I get it. So I can kind of see a little bit of how she said he wants to look a certain way in front of people, because it's like the way she's treating me, I don't know that I would just be like, I'm going to therapy and I totally get it. I feel bad for you. No, you're rude. You're mean. And she got another tattoo. Did you see that? She put another, she had, the ink was still wet. She got another tattoo. It's probably Ben's face with a hacksaw coming at it, because she's coming for him. And I'm done.
I hear you on that. I don't know if Seaway's there, but yeah, no, I do you know what it is? We kind of knew Morgan was coming from episode 1, man. If you actually watch my review, I spoke about Morgan. This was going to happen because her, and again, I said again, we're not jumping over no walls, people. Okay, we're not doing it in 2022, going on 2023. Okay, season. All right, we're not doing it. We're not jumping over walls. Okay. You know, so Ben has found himself in a situation where Morgan is literally running him, you know, amok, you know, literally, because once she feels any slight against her, she punishes. That's what she does. That's why last week she said, I'm gonna drag you with me. You're gonna show up, and this is her way of punishing him. This is her way of getting at him. And let me tell you this now as well. She too is aware of who she's punishing as well. What I mean by that is Ben is clearly the weaker person in the situation, right? In terms of strength, in terms of emotional, right? She is clearly in an ascendancy to him, and that increases the feeling of I can abuse you in this moment. The other side is that Ben needs to get a backbone and learn how to speak up for himself. You left it to Nate to do that, which was great, but you need to be able to do that yourself. You need to be able to stand up and advocate for yourself. Just as much as I talk about women in situations like this, men in situations like this, the same thing. You need a backbone. You need to have better boundaries. You need to fix up, because in this situation, what you're not doing is speaking. And when you don't speak, you get abused, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. Well, sir, you're starving right now. And until you begin to find a backbone, you're going to consistently get this treatment from Morgan. And Morgan's going to keep on running over you because you're going to continue lying flat. You know, it's okay. We get it. You know, you don't want to be maybe rude or you want to be disrespectful. But my friend, if you don't speak up, you're about to get run over again. Okay? She's taking what she can. She's taking what she can from him. She's taking what he's giving her. So if you give her all that room and that space to maneuver, she gonna maneuver. She gonna 3-point turn, yeah, and then run you over with it. So I need Ben to speak up, you know. And this is my issue as well with Morgan, the double standards, you know, talking to, you know, the girls, but then he can't talk to the guys. And I'll tell you why this is the case, because Morgan has got the same energy that a cult leader would have. I know it sounds a bit peak. They create what we call us versus them. This is an abusive tactic. It makes everyone else an enemy, and everybody within the relationship, no one will understand me the way you do. But what they're doing is they're setting you up for abuse. This is what they don't realize. So in the situation with Morgan and Ben, what's happening is that anything that goes against the firm, anything that goes against the brand, anything that goes against Morgan will be seen as a slight against her, and it will be literally cause complete mayhem. This is what you actually seen, right? And it's this, and the reason why I say cult leaders, because cult leaders do the exact same thing. They create the us versus them. So when you go outside the remit of the them, when you go outside the remit of the house, you instantly get this reaction, hostile reaction. And the hostile reaction is to teach you, don't go outside the house again. Do you understand? So now the punishments are coming in for Ben because she's trying to tell him, you should not be with them, you should be with us. Meaning you should always have my back, even in the wrong. Even when I'm treating you wrongly, you shouldn't be speaking to other people. You shouldn't be exposing me to exposing me, and you should not be embarrassing me, not should be put me to shame. Any of those kind of things. None of that should be happening, right? And that's why I said it's very much cultish, because that's what cult leaders do. Because cult and abusers are very much the same. They use the exact same tactics, and so she is in a space where her fragile ego is affected every time there's a critique on her particular behavior. So anytime, so like when Ben, if you notice, Ben was saying about the things he didn't like, the moment he says that critique actually is about her fragile ego. It's like, if you're critiquing me, that means I'm not great, which is why this super uber defensiveness comes through. It's like, I can't have that. I can't have you speaking to someone else about what's weakness for me or what I don't do very well, because what you're doing actually is speaking about her as a being. It's not about her, what she's done. It's about her as a being. It's a fragile ego. But anyway, yeah, let me do the psychology lesson alone. Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as you were talking, it just made me think about how he eventually got to the meat of the matter when they were talking, and he was saying he was still bearing it on himself. And I think I don't know 100%, but I think Ben might be considered conflict avoidant, his personality trait and style in relationships, because he just wants to skirt away. But when he was asking, and he was like, I think what I did was, when I was talking to the experts, I said I could handle all these things, which I realized I couldn't handle. But the first thing he said was, I said I could deal with someone with a strong personality, but I realized I couldn't. That was number one. So the first thing he said was about her strong personality. So that says everything. He is having a difficult time communicating with her and feeling safe to even talk, because he does come off like weaker than her. And she chews him up and spits him out the minute he does something that is perceived to be against her. It was like, where's all of this coming from? You guys haven't even shared a kiss on screen that we saw. But she was like, I would expect my husband not to betray me. Like, ma'am, where's your concept of time? So I love that Nate wound up having to do a lot of the heavy lifting for Ben in the conversation to kind of get to the bottom of some things. But yeah, I just feel like he is so fearful and wanting to avoid having that conflict with her and what that's going to mean, that he'll do anything. He'll put himself on the line.
Yeah. See what you want to add?
Just about Morgan and Ben in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't watch the last episode, so I can't, I don't know what exactly he said about her. I think that would have provided a lot more context.
We don't know either.
Oh, we still don't know.
We don't fully know. We just know that she's.
He said, and this is the part that makes no sense. He said to Justin, and the thing that ticked her off the most was that he told Justin that she's upset or jealous that he comes from a healthy family, and she doesn't.
That's it.
And that he was telling them, he was telling Justin some of the disagreements that they had in their marriage. And they had agreed to not talk about their marriage to the other couples. Well, she made the statement. He just unwillingly went along with it.
Right. Like, you can't, and with that, that's helpful. I mean, you just can't have a marriage that's built off of fear. And he looks like a fearful child is sitting next to her all the time. Even that thing with the letter at the end, I don't want to read, I'm not going to read you my letter because I don't trust you, which is her right. If you think he's a chatty patty, you don't have to trust him. But it just doesn't seem like nothing that's happened between them has been deep enough for this energy. And my thing is, I'm like, if you don't trust a man, You think he's a chatty patty. You know, let's just like, you know, kind of untangle now. Cause he kind of looks pathetic. Like, not in like a pathetic, like it's his fault, but like, and just like, I don't want to see a grown man in this predicament. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So, I hope we can move past this because it's too much.
And do you have footage of the echo chamber that thought they was doing something by running up on the dudes?
Don't know if I have the clip. Let me see if I do. Of the ladies saying they want to go in to see the men. I don't know if I have that particular clip. I don't think, but I can get it. Yeah, I only got the clip where they're actually already there. But you talk and I'll get it for you guys.
Okay. Yeah, so that part bothered me too, because and Alexis is good for letting her face tell the story. She knew what she caused, and she didn't say nothing. You know, in that moment, she also, you know, where, you know, they going to go downstairs and they gonna, you know, we the queens, we gonna go run up, they gonna get run up and done up. First of all, y'all didn't do nothing. And thankfully Nate was there, so he did the heavy lifting for the whole scenario. And I'm like, Alexis, one, you should have said something. Lindy, you sit down. This is not, you should just be quiet, talking about Ben is not ready for a relationship. Ma'am, you don't even have health insurance. You're not qualified to talk about anything. Get health insurance, get fully employed, and then maybe you can have a piece of an opinion. And I just kind of lost credit. They lost credibility for all of them, because they didn't even try to like, well, what da-da-da-da-da. No, everybody's like, no, I just think he's... Kristen, a little bit. She a little bit said, I think they need to talk, or whatever her little, her piece of advice was. She kind of touched on something. But the rest of them was just like they were going to go down there and do something. It's like, come on. I thought it was ridiculous. And if the reverse had happened, if the guys had ran up in the girls' chat, it would have been, what are y'all doing in here? Y'all got a lot of nerve. No, sit down and let's talk. Yeah, I'm so glad you showed up. Let's help you understand where you're going wrong. And Nate hit the nail on the head. What's with all the aggression? I'm feeling a lot of hostility in the room. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Nate for a day trader got a lot of sense. For a day trader on Robinhood. A lot of wisdom.
You gonna come for the whole profession, Seaway?
Seaway better stop.
That's why I clarified on Robinhood.
leave our guy alone. He's 2 bits.
He's coming with. Look, he got more wisdom. Him and Kristen got more wisdom than everybody else combined. They holding it down because everybody else is throw them all away. Lindy, Miguel, Morgan, Big, Justin in them salmon shirts, Alexis, throw them all away. Mitch, throw them away. All we got is a Robin Hood trader and Kristen.
Somebody in the comments says he needs to switch friends from Justin and pick up Nate, and I agree with that 100%. That's the kind of friend he needs, because he's going to be like, nah, bro, because Nate is like, nah, what we're not going to do. That's how he's able to check Stasia. Outside of Nate calling her an a-hole, you know, he's been pretty solid in my book. You know, I think it's like you need that kind of sounding board to help you to be able to navigate the conversation. Because if we just listen to Morgan all day long, we would think he was the worst thing coming. Meanwhile, he's scared of his own shadow. Last episode, he was foaming at the corners of his mouth, just standing up there trying to give Morgan those flowers that she tossed to the side.
Oh, no.
Like they was weeds.
No.
Yep, he was foaming, Seaway. I couldn't. It was so freaking distracting. Right here at the corners of his mouth. Scared. She was going to charge him.
Yeah, I think as the seasons go on, they're running out of quality people. Or like if they find quality, it's like one person, but it's like they can't find quality in both. Like there'd be something really wrong with everybody. I mean, this season is still better as far as like them trying to give real matches, because these other seasons I didn't feel like they even tried to be, you know, legit with the matches. But I don't know where they're getting these people from, especially Justin. Like he must have been scouted.
Let me put a kit for you
I
guys.
got a lot of nerve.
Go
No,
name
sit down and
sauces.
let's
I'll
talk.
come with you
Yeah,
guys.
I'm so glad you showed up. Let's help you understand where you're going wrong. And Nate hit the nail on the head. What's with all the aggression? I'm feeling a lot of hostility in the room.
I just caught that it recorded also the background of you talking. So that's why I was like, wait.
That was madness. I hate hearing my own voice, by the way. It irritates me. So I was like having a meltdown over here.
How
I'm
you
like,
think
what
Jay
in
and
the
I
hell is
feel?
going on?
It sounded like he was narrating the scene. It's perfectly timed.
I said they got a lot of nerve coming up again, up and coming. Yo, it's a perfect commentary. They got a lot of nerve getting up, and they literally get up as well. So someone says it. They got a lot of nerve getting up. Perfect narration. Perfect narration there. But I'll play the kit with Nate as well. Oh, that's too funny. With Nate as well.
Since this is so abnormal, I feel like I needed him on my side and I needed him to have my back, and he did not. Not at all. Okay. You know, which is also where like the betrayal's coming in. Because for the one person out of everyone here who should have had my back, it should have been my husband.
Yeah, so she said everyone she needed the back of her husband. What you guys say?
I'll just say, like, I think she does a lot to potentially push him away and then expect for him to have her back, right? I think she just over exaggerating the situation. She's trying to play the victim, even though she's the aggressor most of the time, right? I think if Ben had a dark side, it would have expressed itself already. We would have seen cracks. We would have seen a flip out over something, because she's very domineering and she's very abrasive in the way she handles him. So if he had the ability to come back at her with something, then trust me, he would have done. All I'm going to say is, if she can be this aggressive this early with the MMA training that she has, it wouldn't surprise me if she puts pause on Ben if they stay together. All right, and I'm saying that because, like I said, there's a lack of awareness, a lack of boundary, and she doesn't even want to find herself or rein herself in when she does get mad, right? She's still punishing him over, like you said, the whole nurse thing. And then she's added that with the information that Alexis gave her, and she's still on 10 about it. All right, so Ben better know some kung fu to help him defend himself from that situation if they stay together. I doubt they will stay together. I think she's doing a lot of stuff to try and turn the group against him. I don't think it's working because, like you said, Nate stood up for him, so Nate can see it. And the thing is, the good thing about Nate standing up to her is Nate doesn't have a dog invested in the race. Nate is on the sidelines observing, and he's got nothing to lose. If she gets mad at him, he doesn't care. He's still got his relationship with Stasio. So Ben, you're right. Ben should really be turning to Nate, someone that can back him up, or Miguel even. Miguel seems to be a solid dude as well. Right? But Justin...
Miguel doesn't have good judgment. Miguel doesn't have...
No, Miguel is... he's a people too.
I hear what you're saying, but the thing is, Justin... other than the fact that they can both empathize with being in a relationship where they're being attacked quite a bit, there's not really much Justin can do to help him through the situation that he's going through. So I'd rather have Miguel, at least someone to speak to who could give me an objective point of view, and he's not gonna give me the soft advice, right? Because Ben's already soft, so he needs someone firm. That's what I'm trying to say. He needs a firm friend who's going to say, look...
I don't think Miguel's firm. I think Miguel's soft.
I think Nate, he got Nate. That's it. That's the only person that's gonna help him weather that storm is Nate.
Not
Nate and the mystical braids.
He need a larger one.
He need a larger one. Yeah, not Justin though, man. That's not gonna help him at all. Because Justin doesn't know how to handle his own situation that he's in. You know? So taking advice from him is not gonna work out in a positive way. Because it's literally like talking to yourself.
He
needs
He need Chris from Atlanta.
Oh no, not all the queens y'all chose. Y'all could have chose any queen.
He need.
I like CJM's comment, by the way. Is it CJM? Yeah, I'll pick Miguel over Justin too. And also, Kanisha, Justin and Bin are trauma bonding at this point.
Well, the thing is that my thing is that Miguel don't realize that he can be on Snap, another episode of Snap at any minute now. And because of that, I don't want him to give anybody any advice. Justin is his health and wellness for the most part should be just fine. Miguel, on the other hand, I'm actually afraid for his well-being.
I think the reason why Justin's got Maya is because Maya can fight his battles for him.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh Lord!
Not from
the feed the puppy jail.
Leave.
Well, clearly we see what he did with that, right? He gave her up to the farm.
Right.
Yeah, but we saw what Maya did to Alexis's dog when she came into the house. Very territorial, you know, very defensive.
She come out, she be like, you sold me a treat, but you know, I still got love for you, brother.
Alexis is undefeated. She got rid of that dog, got that man doing things he never would have done, and she still ain't give him the snatch.
Not nothing, and she won't.
That dog's gonna come back. Don't worry. That dog's gonna come back strong.
I hope so. I hope Tree comes through because Maya deserves a home.
Muzzled up.
Shoulders
muzzled.
Just
muzzled.
Standing there, you know.
Listen, Maya's gonna be salivating hard.
When it sees Alexis on.
I thought you said Maya would celebrate. I'm like, what the hell? Not that again.
She? Oh, did she? I thought you meant Alexis because now Alexis is celibate too. Mm-hmm. She's like, we all celibate.
Exactly, and she's talking about Justin being celibate. Yeah, if Justin's celibate still, then so is she, right? So again, why bring it up?
Because she wanted to stay that way, just like why Mike from Ready to Love keeps talking about that kiss.
That's true. That's true.
I feel so bad I had to hop off, man. I had more in the tank.
You should, yeah. We'll talk about it. You should.
They gotta come back.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see if they come back.
I don't think they come back, but
some will come. Some will come back.
Oh yeah.
Whether Kay will come back, I don't know. Whether Mike will come back, I don't know. But, you know, I got some news for y'all niggas. Okay.
Future said, "Don't take relationship advice from a man wearing winter white and apricot blouses."
That's the number one and the two. Them outfit choices really upset me. Am I at home?
That peach apricot was working. You better leave it alone.
I'm not sure why he made those choices, so I'm gonna leave it there.
Maybe Alexis chose his clothes for that day.
Well, I don't know. What's worse, his outfit choices or Rara's constant T-shirts and shorts on dates? I honestly don't know what's worse.
No, I would say Tree. You know, as much as Randall and his short sets get on my nerves, yeah, it's gonna have to be Tree for me.
Randall, but his outfit, Justin's outfits were annoying, but they were at least appropriate for the date.
And it's not appropriate. All them buttons down low like that. He had the fourth button down.
Well, why did it look like a women's blouse? Do you think that was actually a woman's blouse?
Listen.
That's why I asked if Alexis dressed him that day.
You heard about the Ready to Love folk talking about, you know, why we don't get up on TV for y'all to talk about what we wear. So I just want us to be a little cautious, but you know,
leave it just alone.
They be getting upset.
Leave his dress
Well, if I know I'm gonna be on national TV, I'm gonna get me a stylist for just the times I'm filming and a makeup artist.
Well, that's because you were bad, you know. So everybody ain't got it like you.
I mean, well, I wouldn't go on TV doing my own makeup if I can't do my own makeup. That just don't make no sense. Just don't go on TV.
Oh, see where you done woke them up. They said the man has on a bathing suit cover up. I'm done. I'm not talking about
what it looks like. Leave it alone, guys. Leave the dress sense alone, guys. I'm not talking about that. All right, Sean, give us a benediction.
Coach just said, and we out of here.
Yeah, we out of here. Before y'all descend into mayhem. Deacon. Deaconess Seaway's moving very mad, so let's get the
yes. The other board needs to come in and escort her out the building because she done started. She done started something. The doors of the church are closed. They're closed.
That could have been a woman's blouse.
Let's good night. All right, good people. We had some great dialogue. We talked about relationships, how to resolve conflict. I think that was the biggest eye opener and great conversation that we had is press in to help resolve conflict, right? Hold your mate's hand, right? Don't run away, right? But hold their hand when you're trying to have a difficult conversation, and Seaway added in, just let them know if this is not the time to talk, I'm not going anywhere, right? Sometimes we fear being left in heated arguments, right? Let them know you're not going anywhere. You just need some time, right? Listen, we had a heated debate on do we sleep in the same bed after arguments? Do what works for you, do what's best for you, but do what's healthy for you and your relationship. And sometimes that's not what's most comfortable for you. So be open to doing what's not most comfortable for you, but what's for the betterment of your relationship. And I'll leave it there. Back to you, Coach.
Yes, audience members, thank you again once more for another great live. It was fun. It was enjoyment. We're still saying free Maya. Hashtag free Maya. We did invite Maya to Atlanta, but I think it's a tall order, and we'll be working with her consultants and her PR team and see if we can get her to come down. Even though I don't do dogs very much, but I heard that she said she's going to behave, so we'll see what happens. But no, honestly, in all jokes aside, listen, guys, it's been amazing. It's been great. Also, don't forget as well, guys, we are in US 1st of October. We're doing a little tour up. Okay, so we'd love you guys to come through. I know a lot of you guys have bought tickets already. The last few tickets we're trying to go through. Oh, my phone just went. Hold on a minute. Sorry, guys.
And Kojo, don't forget to remind them about New York and that we almost have a location.
Yeah. So New York's almost sorted.
In Atlanta, VIP tickets are legit almost sold out, guys. Yeah. So if you're holding out on your Atlanta VIP ticket for the extra perks, I'm letting you know right now they're almost sold out, and it was almost 500 people on this live. So just so you know,
yeah, it's crazy, man. The VIP tickets have been going, cause you get me. So. Yeah. The VIP tickets are going. We might have to increase 1 or 2 more, I think, just maybe to accommodate. But yeah, the VIP tickets are almost pretty much gone. So guys, for Atlanta, get on it. But yeah, we honestly appreciate you guys. So make sure you grab your tickets. ATL, New York. We'll have a location nailed down for New York pretty much soon as well. DC, that's getting sorted as well. So I'm literally in process of getting that sorted for you guys. So yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. You know what I mean? Someone said buy tickets so my phone start going out. Y'all man, leave me alone. Listen,
and so he can get some heat. Y'all, he needed some heat in his house. Support
all y'all talking about y'all love this man, y'all rock with him, and y'all die hard been with him. If you can't make it, his PayPal is working. Please, the trip can use your sponsorships. So please, we appreciate you. But now we need to turn a little bit of that love into dollar signs. Okay, we don't need the kind that jingles. We need the kind that shakes. All right. So I shortened my benediction so I can do a little offering. requests. So please, if you can't make the trip and y'all talking about when you coming to Saskatchewan, when you coming to Albuquerque, when are you coming to New Mexico, we not this time. Where we gonna be is where we gonna be. But if you want to support, drop them 25, 50, 30, whatever you need, whatever you can, whatever your heart can spare, please drop it in his PayPal. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it because I couldn't do that. So thank you for that as well, guys. But honestly, guys, we appreciate you. That's a good idea, Future. Actually, it's a good idea what Future's put there. Good idea. I like that. It's a good idea. Actually, I'll take that into consideration. Actually, it's a good idea. So yeah, listen, audience members, thank you so much. It's been amazing again once more. Yes, people are asking me, will I do another tour in future? Absolutely. Probably the next year though, as well. And but yeah, we will look to do some more tours hopefully as well. So we've come a long way, guys. You know, and I appreciate you guys for even being around here and supporting the journey. It's been crazy. And you guys, those of you who have been here for a long time, I appreciate you. Panelists, I appreciate you as well. So listen, I look forward to it. We've only got 2 more weeks left, so literally we'll be there and we're gonna enjoy the Big Apple. We're gonna enjoy Atlanta. We're gonna enjoy DC. So it's gonna be crazy. Trust me. As well.
There's no Texas location, guys. If you're in Texas,
there's no Texas location. I
Come to
know.
Atlanta,
Sorry,
guys.
Texans. Sorry, Texans. Gotta come to Atlanta this time. I will add you guys for the next tour because I know I've got a lot of people saying Texas, so it seems like I need to add you guys next time. But then again, I've got Chicago saying they're gonna shoot me if I don't. So I don't know. I'm a bit stuck right now. And we're hearing some extra places that you lot are asking for. So we'll look to add that into as well. Someone said Deacon Sean. They wanna know your collection play as well. You see, because they want the offerings for you as well, sir. Okay. Deacon Sean. Drop that cash out, baby. Everyone needs a love offering here. But listen, honestly, guys, thank you so much again. Make sure the description box below will have the link as well. I'll put the link in the chat for you as well, so you can grab your tickets. Don't wait till last minute, baby. I mean, I'm the kind of person that waits till last minute. I'm gonna lie to you. And then by the time you realize the tickets are sold out, don't message me if the tickets are sold out, because once they are sold out, they are sold out. Okay, I don't want to hear it. But again, let me leave you on a good note. You know, I always like to leave you guys on a good note, good positive note with this video, and we're going to sign out in a good way, guys. But you know what? I'm going to change it slightly, you know, because you know what? In honor of Morgan and what Morgan has brought to the table, let me just say,
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
And on that note, guys, we're going to love you, we're going to leave you, and we'll see you again for another enthralling, crazy show. Okay? All right?
You can never make it. You can never.